Hi there, and welcome to the Wise Woman podcast. So good to have you with me today. We have another guest on tonight, and I'm super excited to have an amazing guest on tonight. So, do me a favor before we jump into all the razzmatazz of what we're talking about. Kindly like, share, subscribe, send today's podcast your best friends, your brothers, your fathers, because tonight is going to be a heartwarming session. We've got the amazing Dr. London on. He's a great father figure, friend, brother, mentor, everything you could possibly think of. Someone that I deeply respect and honor and just really cherish his voice in my life. Today, we're talking about understanding the fears, the pressures, and the worries that men have. Today's podcast is for the men, and it could be the wider pressures, fears. It's not just limited to one thing. So, do me a favor, share, like, subscribe, get your brothers and sisters all on tonight's podcast because it's going to be really powerful and transformative. Let me bring on our amazing guest. Hey, Doc.
Yes, good evening to you, Esther. How do you do?
I'm
It's good to
super
be here.
excited. I'm beaming. Good to have you back.
Well, thank you very much for the invite. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you looking so well.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm honored. I really appreciate you guys. I've got to be very honest with you. I banter with Doc a lot. I'm always winding him up. He's such a down to earth, wonderful person. Don't mind him when he's really being adamant and being tough with us. He's the kindest, one of the kindest people I've ever met. And he genuinely, sincerely cares. He's always been caring and supporting to me. Doc, I really appreciate your counsel online and
Thank you very much.
offline. You've really helped me to grow in my knowledge in these last few years. And I really appreciate that. And I just wanted to say that to you as well.
A pleasure.
So we're talking about the pressures of men. But before we get into that, a little bit about you. Introduce yourself to our audience, reintroduce yourself to our audience, and what would you like them to know about you?
Okay, Dr. London here. I live in London. I've been studying the interdynamic between men and women and relationships in general now since 2007. And it was a few years ago that my friend said, you need to take your knowledge to social media. You need to create a presence, create a platform. And so I've created a platform called Supporting Marriage. And what do we do? I speak about relationships and relationship problems. I offer one-to-one coaching for those that are not yet married and those that are recently married. And of course, those that have been married some time. I also have Dr. London's Blueprint, which I decided to create for both men and women. And why did I do this? To help people that have never been married, in particular, those group that have never been married, prepare themselves for marriage. Because from my studies, a lot of people that are getting married are not ready to be married, which is why we're having such a high divorce rate. And having said that, despite what I've just said, people are still going to keep getting married. They're still going to keep getting married. And a lot of them are going to get it wrong. There's some fundamentals that people need to know, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. A lot of them don't do it. And you can tell that by the decisions they make. And the partners, if that's the word I use, the future spouses that they choose. To add to this, I've written two books, 350 pages odd each. Book two will be out most probably in September. Book one has had five-star reviews, uh, and it's done quite well. And of course, I have international matchmaking. So I've got the blueprint to guide you on how to prepare yourself to marriage, find a person, stay married, avoid divorce. And of course, I can also help you find that person. And because I take my work very seriously, I
Yeah,
expect the
keep
vast
on.
majority of people that come to be disqualified. You know, you can't come to me as a
Mm.
man that's broke. You can't come to me as a woman that's holding your children hostage from an ex and say you want to join my platform. No, it's for people that are healthy, holistic, grounded spiritually, and then are ready to look for their future spouse. Those are the people that I'm looking to help, and those people are few and far between, unfortunately to say. So that's a
Mm.
bit about me. I'm always available to speak to people. Of course, I offer one-to-one coaching at cost. But if you're thinking about getting married or you are married and you're having a few problems, you just want to come and air your grievances, you want to get some guidance, I think I might be able to help.
Thank you, Doc. Very thorough introduction. So
Thank
then
you.
we're talking about understanding the fears, some of the worries and the pressures of men. And this topic really was born out of a conversation that you and I were having, and you shared something. I mean, I was so enlightened by it. And I just wanted
Mm,
to say off the back of this, ladies, this isn't about, I don't want anyone to be saying, oh, women have pressures, this, that, and everybody has pressures. Today, we're going to have
mhm,
empathy for the men. We want to understand specifically what is the experience of the male gender and how are men experiencing manhood in modern days, both within dating, both within themselves, and both within society. And I think um, as much as there's this outrage and this toxic behavior, this feministic behavior towards men, that men are no good, men are this, I don't subscribe to that. Have a lot of great examples of good men in my life. I have people that I honor, men that have showed themselves to be integrous and good men. And I think it's a case of identifying the difference between toxic masculinity and a man that's healthy. And I think a lot of times people are experiencing toxic masculinity. So there is another side to the male gender, and everybody deserves a voice. And I think we should be trying to help each other rather than bashing each other. So I'm hoping to create some empathy tonight, some kind of understanding. This will help women understand their fathers better, women understand their husbands, their spouses, their boyfriends, the man in your life. Try and understand that there are things that men don't talk about. Why do men not talk to? Why do men not express themselves? Let's just jump in. Why are men silently suffering? What is happening? Who's holding them hostage that they don't feel comfortable enough to speak? What is it about this male gender that talking about your emotions or letting things out? What is that ideology? What's going on with men? What's happening?
All right, so from the beginning of time up until modern times, where you've had a strict father, men are conditioned not to express their emotions. It's seen as weak. And so what they do is they bottle a lot of things up. They're conditioned that way. Second point, they don't want to be vulnerable, so they're not taken advantage of.
Hmm.
Third point, which is not a good one, most of them don't trust their wives.
Really?
They don't trust their wives. Let me give you an example.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Okay, let's just assume you and I are married, and I'm scared of spiders. And you might think a big man like me I'm scared of spiders. And there are two ways you can respond. You find out one day that I'm scared of spiders, and you say, Doc, I saw you weren't very happy when you saw that spider. And then I say, yeah, yeah, well, when I was young, a really big spider came into my bed and it really triggered me. And you say, oh, don't worry, Doc, that's fine. We all have some phobia of something. So just you having a phobia of spiders is okay.
Which is the kind of thing I would say, actually.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
me.
well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And then now he feels calm. Okay, she's got my back. So now let me just, excuse me, take that one step further. We go out to dinner, we go out to a nice restaurant, maybe the Shard or somewhere, and I get in the lift. And as we get out of the lift, there's this big spider that just comes from the lift, it comes from the shaft. And I see it and I just panic like that. And then you say, what's wrong with you? Big man like you panicking like that, embarrassing everybody, going into a tizzy because of a damn spider. You've just almost broken that man.
Mm.
And that man will never trust you again. Second option, it's okay, darling. Come, let's go over here. Sit. It's okay. I got you. I know. I know. This is a big, nasty one. But don't worry. Would you like me to get you some water? It's good. It's gone now. I'm here. I'm right here.
Mm.
It's gone. It's good. Esther, that man won't leave you ever.
Mm.
He won't leave you.
Mm. You become
Especially,
a safe space.
especially if you're a bit fine too.
You're so funny. So
He won't
it's
leave
that
you. And then
being
they've just
shut.
hugged you there.
Yeah.
That bit there means $1 million.
Mm. So it's that whole being sharp-tongued, that some women don't understand that, um, even if they're saying it in jest or they might be playing, but women have this perception that men should be strong. What
All
to
the
be
time.
funny, in fact, something similar happened to me last week. There was a spider in my
Mhm.
house, and so my niece lives upstairs. I hate spiders with a passion. I was like, oh God, I was fretting. I was like, oh God, what is this now? So one of her friends just so happened to be in the house. I called him. I said, I was like, where's LT? He came running downstairs. He says, Auntie, are you okay? I said, please come help me kill this spider. He just looked at me. He goes, Auntie, where is it? Where is it? So he chased the spider. The spider was fast. It ran off here. He grabbed it. He killed it, and he put it in the bin for me. I said, oh, LT, thank you, my darling. Young guy. And so we all laughed, and we forgot about it. But so I personally understand that story in light of fear. And I
Mhm.
think if the tables were turned, I think we can have more empathy and sympathy. I think it's this whole idea that men are not supposed to be afraid. They're not supposed to have fears. We must always be macho. He shouldn't be afraid of rodents. He shouldn't be. And I think women hold to that. I think women hold to that whole idea that they're allowed to be the weak ones. They're allowed
Hmm.
to be the ones with fear. But as soon as a man displays any kind of weakness, and where did we get this from? Where is this being passed down from? That men are not allowed to show weakness. They're not allowed to show fears. They're not allowed to show in something in a woman's mind that will make her feel like he is not a man. He's human. Yeah, he's a person having an experience. He's having a male experience, and so we're passing down all these ideologies about you're weak if you have fears and you express those fears. Where is this? Where did this come from? Why are we doing this to each other?
Well, as I said, men have been conditioned that way, and women have been conditioned to behave the way they are. They
Mm,
expect their men to be strong. They expect their men to take tough decisions, even though they don't. They expect the man to exhibit stoicism, stiff upper lip, etc., etc. And remember what I said in the example I gave. I want to go back to that. She says, "What's wrong with you? Just because a spider came out the shaft, all those people there, you are
mm,
fretting and fretting like a little girl. You should be ashamed of yourself. You embarrassed everyone."
mm,
Now, let me just take that into context. If a man cannot be vulnerable with his wife, who can he be vulnerable with?
mm.
Who?
Yeah.
If your man cannot be vulnerable with you, he does not trust you.
Mm.
Dr. London here. I keep it raw and I keep it true. You will either like me or you won't. If a man cannot be vulnerable with you, he does not trust you. He doesn't. And he thinks it's in his best interest not to tell you some things so that he can protect himself. Because if in
Mm,
the future you should fall out, you're going to use those things against him. And
mm,
once women are no longer on your side, they become your enemy and they will weaponize anything they can against you because that is what the stats tell us. Now, is that all of them? No. But most of them will. They're fighting over the children, you're fighting over money, you're fighting over the house. They dish out any dirt they can get on you. So,
mm,
yes, you're going to hear it today, Esther. I tell men, keep your vulnerabilities to yourself.
mm. That's really interesting because women often feel they want a man to be vulnerable with them, right? They
No,
they argue. They
no.
say, "No, you don't talk to
All
me.
the
You
time.
don't
You
open
don't
up.
tell me what's going on. You don't tell me.
Yeah,
You
you
always
don't
keep
open
everything
up."
to yourself, etc., etc. I tell my men, you've got your brothers for that. I never use the term bro. I hate that term. Or hey, or guys. I don't use loose terms like that. I respect everyone, and I call my peers sir. My peers. How much more younger people? I say, sir, go to your best friend. Come to me. Come and be vulnerable. Come and cry to me. Me, I understand and I care. I will
Mm,
hug you. I say, it's okay. I got you. Don't start crying in front of women. Don't start doing that. When you're with your wife and there are other women there, don't cry unless you're at a funeral. And you do it for 5 minutes. You do it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, then you get back on your steeds very quickly. Women
I
can be quite
understand.
ruthless. They
Yeah.
do. And then your wife's best friend said, look at him. Why is he crying now? What's wrong with him? Stop
Mm,
crying. All these people here. How weak are you? You're being pathetic. And then
mm,
all of a sudden they might start to look at you with a different lens. That's why you
mm,
don't do it. And you as a man don't even know that. The four ladies that are your wife's best friends that used to hold you in high esteem, they're thinking how to steal you from her. Now all of a sudden they don't like you anymore because you look weak. Women
mm.
don't respond to weakness, they respond to strength,
Yeah, I
whether
do.
they like it or not.
Yes, I agree that women need leadership. I think a lot of it is this whole idea that if I'm following you, you need to be the strong one. But I think we have to have a balance. Everyone's human, having a human
Yes,
experience, and
yeah,
there will be times where the man will break down. There will be
yes.
times where he's going to have a moment, and I think we need to learn to hold space for that, right?
Hmm.
We need to learn to hold space for, as much as I want him to be strong. And I think as a woman, you build your man. I think you can build him, you build his confidence through your words, through your actions. If you're always speaking to the king in him, he's going to feel like a king. He's going to act like a king. If you're constantly putting him down, constantly always pointing out his mistakes, always belittling him, he's not going to have the confidence to actually rise up. And I say to women, we were designed in such a way that men respond to our words. That's why your words are powerful as a woman. Your mother's
So
words are
many.
powerful. Yeah.
Very powerful. Very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. Men respond to a woman's words. They're always trying to impress us. And I said this the other day to some of my friends that, men live for women. I don't mean their whole lives is formed around women, but once you're married or in a committed relationship, your spouse's opinion of you matters. You're always trying to impress her. You want to look good in her eyes. You're always trying to be a good man. And I think we can do more and to appreciate the little. I think a lot of women can do more to appreciate the little because gratitude opens up room for more. And I think it's that dynamic that he's not always going to be strong. He's not always going to have it together. There are times where you're going to have to be the one that's going to hold space for his emotional needs, right? So we're talking about the fears, the worries, and the pressure. So being vulnerable to a man is a real pressure. It's a real fear. Is it more so amongst other men or just around women as well? What about around other men as well? How do
Uh,
men have that dynamic amongst themselves?
Okay, this is a good one. Um, I want to actually speak about men, but I want to speak about black men in particular.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's harder for us in the land of the white man. It's harder for us. And I've seen this. I've seen this in my own life, and it's not always been good.
Mm,
And being accountable as a man is one of the best things you can ever do. A
mm,
number of my friends used to say to me, I did well very early on. By the time I was 30, I was driving a brand new Mercedes when credit was a new thing. You know, N13 AJB, you'd have read it in my book. I had a brand new, yes.
yeah.
And then and I'm still waiting for my review actually, which we promised, but that's another
I'll get
thing.
it to you, Doc.
What you call it? And one of my friends in particular, he said to me, Doc, you have the way of coming into a room and making men that are not on their game feel very uncomfortable. I said, no, I don't. He said, yes, you do.
Mm,
You come into a room, you're taking all the oxygen in the room, you look around the room at the brothers in that room. And if those brothers aren't really doing well or are not really meant to be in that room with you, you make them feel uncomfortable. Until my friend Brian said, it's true. You know, Brian, you met him, the tall guy in the front. Yes,
yeah.
he's very successful. He's been my friend now 30 years almost. And he said, you're like that. You don't suffer fools gladly. You want to quickly know who the person is. And if that person is not resonating or vibrating on a certain level, the attitude you have will make them feel uncomfortable to the point where they may even dislike you.
So men gauge
Because
each other out.
yeah,
They
very
understand each
quickly.
other.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's
Okay.
men in general. We understand hierarchy. Women
Mm,
don't. So let me make this clear to you. Because the way women answer these questions, it sometimes amazes me. That's why I like you so much, because you're always looking for knowledge. If I
mm.
get into the room and Donald Trump is in the room, Elon Musk is in the room, Barack Obama is in the room, Jeff Bezos is in the room, and Richard Branson is in the room. Men understand hierarchy. Who do you think in that room will speak last?
Well, the least relevant person.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You see, that's why I love you, because you get it. And that's why I say the things I say about you. The least friendly. I just gave you, I said, if I am in the room, Jeff Bezos, Barack Obama, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump, and myself, who will speak last?
Yeah, it would be you, unfortunately.
That's right. Not unfortunately, that's how it is. Because men understand that very quickly. The men in front of you have done more than you, are better known than you, and have achieved more. That doesn't mean they've got better character, but that's how it works.
Okay, so this whole perceived notion that there's a better man, a more qualified, a more stronger, a more powerful man. We're like the animal kingdom, aren't we? So once the lion comes into the jungle,
The men understand. That's called
yeah.
hierarchy.
Okay.
And this is why you need to understand this. Because in real times, the way our brains work, unlike women, when we go into a room, we understand that if we don't interact with the men in those rooms properly, it could mean our lives.
Okay. The respect.
Women don't understand that. You see, women don't understand that. So you'll have seen many times the Afro sisters, as I'll call them. They'll go to a man and start wagging their head in his face, pointing their finger at him, and the man just looks at him like that because the state will sanction him, society will sanction him, his family will sanction him, his sisters will sanction him, and the other lady's family will sanction him. And some men will say the word I hate, hey, bro, don't do that, because
Mm,
that's how weak we are. So that's why they don't do anything. In a good society, the woman would never do that. If she had a problem with that man, she'd go and get another man and report him to that man and say, this man did this to me, and another group of men would come and face him. That's how it should work. So when
okay.
I get into the room with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Barack Obama, and I'm standing there, I'm thinking, if I offend any of these men, they've got enough power to ruin my life completely. They can
Mm.
shut my business down, they can cut off all my connections, and they don't even need to see me. However, if I respect these men and I show myself to be a man of caliber, they could say, well, Doc, I think I could do some business with you. Let me put some business
Mm,
through your company. Let me do that. Because you're a statesman yourself. I don't necessarily want to employ you unless you're a non-executive director, but you know you're into recruitment and executive search. Let me just contact my head of recruitment. Let me put some business your way. That's what you'll get. So
So it's
even though we're
about
in the same room and I know that you're aware of it, they still respect you because you have the pedigree and character. It's the
mm,
money and the influence that differentiates you, that
okay.
differentiates you.
So for men, it's about gaining the respect of another man. It's about
Yes,
and gaining it very quickly, especially if you're meeting
yes,
for the first time. There was this thing.
correct.
There was this guy that I dated years ago, and everywhere we went, whenever you saw another black guy, they're like, "Why do men do that?"
Mhm.
Like they they
Yeah, yeah,
they
that's it, that's it.
they acknowledge. I noticed. I said, "Why
Yes.
do you guys do that?" Like you walk down the street, you don't know
Mhm.
the guy, just like
Yeah,
respect. Like they just nod at each. I'm like, "Do you know
that's a
this
good
guy?" It
thing.
happened several
Several
times.
times. Yes,
Yeah, and
yes,
I'm like,
yes.
why do you
That's
guys
a
do
good
that?
thing. I'm
He's
excited.
like,
Look
it's
at me.
just a,
I'm a
he's
good
like, just a
thing.
man thing. You're like, yeah, respect, bro. They'll be. I'm like, what's Skilly? What is this?
Wait, they do it at different levels. So when we're in the city of London, where I've been for 30 years old, okay, men that are doing well can sense out other men that are doing well. Men
Right.
that are on a level, they can sense out men that are on a level. And this is what I do. How do you do? And they acknowledge back. And the more of a gentleman you are, the better. First Bank of Nigeria had some drinks in February in the peninsula. I just said this to you before. And I had my iconic red hat on, my blazer, my tie.
Yeah.
And when I walked into the room stopped. Guess what happened? Korede, the managing director, found his way to me to introduce himself to me to say, I'm Korede, I'm the managing director of First Bank. I said, did you take over from Sam? He said, yes, you know Sam. I said, yes, I've done work with your bank before. He said, oh, wow, call me. I
Okay.
said, I will. So, you see, the managing director found his way over to me. That's not how it normally works.
You're
I should find my
magnetic. You walked into the room magnetically.
Indeed. And so then what happens is it tells that people, it says that this man is a man of purpose, a man of character, a man of dignity, because it resonates in you. You can't
Mm,
hide it. And the way
mm,
you dress, remember your signature is part of your ideology. It's in Dr. London's Blueprint for
mm.
Men. It's powerfully important. And I'm going to make you laugh. And there was one lady that I met in Nigeria a few years ago that was introduced to me by one of the guests there that I came with. She said, oh, hi, Doc, my husband. I said, really? She said it right there
She
because I didn't
claimed
talk
you
to her.
right
And
there.
said, yeah, she said, and we'd met in Ikeja before at
Yeah.
Radisson Blue Hotel, had something to eat, and she saw me. And I teased, I said, you're always around big men. She said, aren't you yourself a big man? And I laughed. I said,
Okay.
no, you're always surrounded by big men. And it was funny. And so this is what we see. Now, what
Mm,
you'll notice is the men that haven't got there, they won't do that. They can't do that because you can't buy that. You have to build it. And that takes many
mm,
years. And most men won't be able to do that.
mm.
And so it makes me feel good when if Dangote is in a room and I'm in the room with Dangote and he's looking at me, he's thinking, who is this guy? Do I know
Acknowledging
him?
your presence. Yeah.
Yes, or Tony Elumelu, who I've worked for before. I've worked for him before. I recruited someone for him in France, a big man. He's still there now. He's in the
Mm,
room, he's looking at you thinking, do I know that guy?
mm.
Tells you about yourself.
So you suss yourself out. There's a confidence, there's a presence about you. You qualify to be amongst the successful men. You
Correct.
have what it takes. You've proven yourself through your
There you go. And
achievements, through your
indeed, indeed,
accomplishments. You've proven
indeed,
yourself to be a man of
indeed.
character,
Aha.
and men can read that. Men
They
can
complete it. That's it. And
acknowledge
that was
that.
the word, character. It's not just the way
Yeah.
you dress. It all falls into one. Your signature, the way you
Mm,
carry yourself, your confidence, your intonation, your projection. The language you use. It's green flag, green flag, green flag, green. Who is this guy again? What does he do? When
mm.
I went to the wedding. I was in Nigeria.
Yes.
The amount of respect they gave me, I said they don't even know who I am. And
Mm,
my big cousin said they do. They know you.
indeed.
I'm 50 years older than me. Said they know you. Don't think they don't know you. They do. They
It's
do. I said,
really
okay,
interesting. And I
it's
think a lot of
interesting.
women, yeah, well, I think maybe I'm the one, maybe it was me that was naive. I just feel a lot of women don't read deeply into the way men
Men
kind of
interact.
relate to each other, the
Yeah.
way they interact,
Interact.
and
Yeah.
holding respect for that. Because I think a lot of times we don't have to understand it's a male thing and just accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
That's just what men do. It's a
And
male
it's
thing.
what we do. Yeah. I
Yeah,
went out to a place again. I've seen it all the time. I'm more conscious of it now because I've been told off.
yeah.
And so I went there. I got there. There were 10 or 12 men. There are 12 of us there, and I quickly assessed all the men. It's not the right thing to do, but it's what I did. I said, that guy, that guy,
Mm.
that guy, yeah, I can go to dinner with
You
them. The
guys
rest of
made
them are
quick
just,
conclusions
yeah,
about
yes.
each
The rest of
other.
them I thought they're okay guys, but they wouldn't necessarily be my cup of tea. That doesn't mean that they're bad. They just wouldn't
Mm.
be my cup of tea. And they will most probably feel that because we're all going through the same struggle. So when you're in a city and you see one man acknowledge a mother, remember I said normally it's about levels. I don't just acknowledge any man because he just happens to be black. No, I've got to feel he's worthy of the appreciation I give him. And I will feel that. And if I don't feel it, then I won't give it to him. You simply
Mm.
can't get that appreciation. And so when you're in the room, you see who's in the room, you know, and they also know as well, which is why a lot of men, this has happened to me. After a while, they just stop calling me.
Wow.
They just stop. You know why? Because the room is too hot. He's going to turn up on time. He's going to expect you to show up. He's going to hold you to your word. You're going to have to pay for some of the dates. You see all of these things. And when they think of all of
Yeah.
those things, they think it's too much. It's too much. Let me just withdraw. The standard is too high.
Mm.
That's why. Not because necessarily I'm bad. They can't work at that level. And they know
And
that they can't get out of it. That's
and
the
you said
level.
the standard is too high. And I love that you
Yes.
said that because it's about capacity. How much have you grown in your
Mm.
ability and capacity to actually operate at a particular level?
Level. And you've got to maintain it.
Yes, and it's not even something you can fake. And I
You
think for
can't.
a lot of men, let's bring it to women. And I find this quite interesting. We say that there are a lot of successful women who are single. And men talk about, they want a traditional woman, they don't want a woman who is successful. I personally believe it's because of this thing that you've talked. They don't have the capacity, the knowledge, or the know-how to operate at that level at times with women who are successful. Because men have always been taught that women should be lesser than them, that women they're the ones obviously to lead, to provide. And we'll talk about those pressures in a second. So they don't know what to do with a woman who's actually got herself together. They
Mm.
actually don't know what to do with a woman who necessarily doesn't need you to always um well, I'll never say not lead her, but she doesn't need you to always be this dominant force, so to speak. So it's almost like the ideology of masculinity breaks. So this is why a lot of successful women with great character are single, because a man will look at her and think, do I have the capacity or what it takes to lead this woman? Or he has the insecurity, will this woman respect me? It's a bit of both, right? So let's kind of deal with that pressure. You meet a girl, you like her, she seems to be doing all right by herself. What kind of pressure does that, what pressures go through a man's mind? And I think this is the conversation. And please touch on the fact, I found this hilarious, Doc, when you said that a man could have an attractive wife or date an attractive person and have the fear of losing her to another man.
Yes, yes.
Let's kind of
Uh,
unpack all of that.
Yeah, let's try and unpack it. Let me start from the back. So listen, this is how men think. The more successful a man is, the more self-esteem he has, especially if he's built good character. So they're not intimidated or afraid of women. I'll park that. I'm coming back to that. But I want to start with the point of the attractiveness of a woman.
Okay.
This to men, depending on who those men are, is of high importance. When I went out with my ex, I transformed her. I
Mm,
transformed her. She looked average. She was 5'9". She was quite slim. Then she put on a bit of weight. The hair was short before, half of yours. And then she did it into the Viking hair. You know the Viking hair? Because she's
mhm.
tall, English lady.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after about a year, I started taking her out to some exotic places. When I mean exotic, high-end restaurants, this gaucho roast,
Showed her a new
beef
life.
broth.
Showed her a new
Yes,
side of life. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Which was way out of her league. In hindsight now, that was wrong, but that's another story.
Can we
I
hold on that?
started taking, yeah, sorry?
I just want to add to that, because this whole idea of holding, and you've literally answered my question, because we talk about she was probably in a different class or different lifestyle to you, and then you're
Mhm,
having to bring her up to
mhm.
where you are,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
to speak, to experience
Mhm,
life on the level in which you live it, and that had
mhm.
an impact on you as well. So I'll let you
Mm.
continue to unravel that as
All right.
well.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I then started taking her out. And once I took her to Plaza, which is in, where Waterloo Bridge, the big plaza in the
Yeah.
center. Yeah. And so you'll know this about men today. It's for most successful men. So I speak for most men. And then when we walked into the room, everyone would stop. I already told you that before. Me, I would walk in and then I walk in with her. And then you could see what people were thinking. They're looking at me, they're assessing her, they're trying to work out whether it's a good deal. How did he get with her? How did she get with him? That's what, and then they're
Mm.
thinking, yeah, it's a good deal. Next thing that you notice, the men are side-eyeing her. Listen, we love that as men because what you're doing is you're acknowledging our choice.
Oh, I
They're
see.
side, yeah, they're side eyeing her. And I think, okay, she'd put on a bit of weight. Her hips had come out. Her bum bum was sticking out a bit. And, she had a nice, I'm serious. I remember she had a nice dress on. You know those
Men
wrap,
are Nyasha.
yes, you know that, don't use that word. They won't know what that
This
means.
Nyash
You
not
know
kill
those
you
wrap,
guys. That's why.
you know, you know those wrap dresses that they wear, those wrap dresses. Yeah, she had one and it was fitting her very nicely with her hair done up like that, sitting down. And yes, I did what we call a rebrand. I'd upgraded her. The clothes were different, the shoes were different, the way she
Mm,
behaving was different. And men of quality, because when you go to a high-end restaurant, you only meet people of quality there because of the
mm,
cost. You're talking about 80, 90, 100 pounds a head,
mm,
without tip and everything else. So it's going to cost you 200, 250 to get out of that restaurant. And so
mm,
you're going to see different men. I've done it several times, and you see the men, a lot of them white, thinking, who's this black guy? He's got a
mm,
hat on, he's smartly dressed. Who's that white lady with him? Maybe it's a banker, doctor, lawyer, solicitor. They're trying to work out who you are, or some kind of professional. And they're side-eyeing your wife. The
mm,
first reason they're side-eyeing her is to acknowledge that she's there. The second reason is to work out how fine she is. The third reason you'll listen today is they're trying to work out whether they would like to be with her. They're doing all of those three things at once.
what?
Yes. Listen, that doesn't mean they'd want to go and sleep with her now. No. But could they see that girl being their girlfriend? Yes.
Oh, I
That's what it
see.
means. That's what it means. So when a man comes in and they look at his wife and they go, wow, I wish she was my wife. I wish I had a wife like that.
Mm,
She's
the
gorgeous. Look at the
sizing
way she
her up.
carries that. Yes, that's it. That's it. Thinking, why is it my wife like that? Oh, well. And then they might forget after that. So that's what it
Yeah.
is. So when a
Okay.
man is looking at you, it doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to take your clothes off and jump into bed with you, although it could mean that. But in most cases, it doesn't mean that. He's thinking, she's very smartly dressed. I like her hair. Look at the shape on her. Oh, wow. That man's got it going on.
He's
He's got
admiring her.
yeah, that's right. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so when you go into a room and men don't admire your wife, you're being told that she's not really all that. It's
Mm,
psychological. So they either will or they won't. You go in, your wife is short, fat, overweight, she's loud and mouthy or rude or disrespectful, or she's got a lot of toxic negative energy, no
mm,
good. So coming back to the point you made, so I don't forget upgrading a lady. I don't advocate it for men. Why? Because it means you've got to put a lot of investment into her and she can turn around and say, I don't want it at any time. It is better to meet people on their level. If I get with you, for example, I take you out to Lassa Freak, I take you here, I take you here, you work at that level, so you'll appreciate it. And when women
mm,
appreciate that kind of level, they show reciprocity. They do. Well,
mm,
Doc did this for me. I'm going to do that for him back. And then we go back and forth, loving and supporting each other. But if you
mm.
take a woman that's of much lower level than you then have to pour into her. Right. And if you don't get anything back, you keep pouring into her thinking you get something back. This then becomes what we call the sunk cost fallacy, where you're investing in something that isn't going to give you the reward. She, on the other hand, she's taking all of that benefit
The
and hasn't
return.
offered
Mm.
anything back. And now she's leaving. So I don't advocate for it. On
Yeah.
or around the
Because
same level,
the truth of the
then yes,
matter is, relationships are investment of time,
yes.
they're an investment of your
And
life,
energy.
and you
Yeah,
must
indeed.
have a return. Yeah, no one,
That's
there's
it.
not,
You
it's
must.
not that it's transactional. It's not that it's transactional, but you have to be with someone who understands that my job is to also add value to your life while you're
Nice.
adding
That's
value
it.
to my life.
Value to
And I
man.
think for a lot of
Correct.
men, and I think you teach about this, Doc, where men
Mm.
prioritize looks, because just for that fleeting moment of walking into a room and having all heads turn and look at your beautiful wife, and in that moment, you're the man in the room, but you're
Yeah.
suffering at home because this beautiful
Mm.
wife is a witch at home.
Mm.
She lacks character, she treats you badly,
Mhm.
she doesn't respect you. So a lot of men compromise their peace, their self-respect, for they live for that moment of my cousin always says that men sometimes marry women for other men. they want to marry a woman that looks good to
Mm.
others so they can feel good about themselves. So it's that pressure of being validated by other men. And to me, that's a very
Shallow thing to do.
egotistical way to live. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
shallow. It's a very
and very
shallow
shallow,
way.
and it's not sustainable either. So after a
Mm,
while, nobody will care anymore. So I've covered
mm,
that. I've covered that. When the man walks into the room, the energy he gets back is a direct correlation to how they see that man. So if you walk
mm.
into a room and no one notices you, they're telling you about yourself. You
That
walk
you're
into a room,
nobody.
everyone notices you.
You're not
Yes, that's it.
relevant.
Yes, and now you imagine walking to a room full of relevant people and they stop to look at you. What do you think that does to your self-esteem?
Mm,
They're telling you that you're worth something. They want to know who you are. I told you that I went to First Bank in the Peninsula. They had a big gathering there, and the managing director came to find me. That's not what should happen. I should go and find him because he's the host, right? And so there was that, and there were a few other big men that I met there as well. I said, hello, how are you? They said, hi, Doc. Some of them knew me from TikTok. Some of them know me from the recruitment I do, but they know me in one capacity or another. And I've
yeah.
worked to build that. And that's why I don't just go onto platforms. I don't just move anyhow. I don't want anyone to tarnish my name or reputation. So I stay away
Mm,
from them. If the platforms are toxic or they're low caliber people just talking about other people and nothing of any relevance, I stay away from all of that. So that's the first thing. The second thing that esteems a man is the woman he's with. Nobody, no man of any caliber wants anyone to disrespect his wife. No man of any caliber wants anyone to disrespect his wife. That's anyone. His mom, his dad, his brothers, his siblings, his best friends, acquaintances, whatever. Don't disrespect my wife. Because when
mm,
you disrespect my wife, you disrespect me. That's
mm,
what you do. So therefore, on the flip side, the man must be very careful of the wife he chooses. Because the person you choose, your wife, is going to be responsible for at least 80% of your happiness or not, as the case may be. So you
mm,
must be very careful. You must be very careful. And of course, we're older now and we're wiser now. We have so much more knowledge now. We are not easily impressed. We don't just look at the way you look, although that's the window that gets us in. We're going to look at your character behind. You could say a few things in public that would disqualify you and you don't even know.
mm,
Like this: if any man talks rubbish to me, I will show him you're not a wife.
mm,
She doesn't realize with that statement, she's just disqualified an untold amount of husbands. If any man, that shows you don't have any respect for men. You most probably don't respect your dad, and you're not going to respect your husband. The
mm.
man I choose to be with needs to respect me, and I need to respect him too. That's what we want to hear. A
That's
completely
how you
different
feel.
self.
Yeah,
Yes,
indeed.
yes. Hmm.
So this pressure of losing your wife to a better man.
Okay. Pressure of losing your wife to a better man. Thank you for that. Okay. That normally stems from one, a man being insecure. Two, this is a big one. I spoke about it yesterday on the podcast. Men shooting for women that are out of their league.
Mm,
Three, there's this stupid notion that men say, stupid notion. There's no woman out of my league. Yes, there are. Yes, there are women out of your league. Listen, it's stupid men that say that. If men
mm,
understand hierarchy, then they understand that there are women that also have grades. Women don't understand the hierarchy, but men understand hierarchy amongst women. Let me give you a clear example. You are in the room with Kemi Badenoch, and you're in the room with the Nigerian president's wife, and you're in the room with Margaret Thatcher. Do you think you're the biggest person in that room?
I do in my mind, yes.
You see now? You see
That's
the
me.
difference now. You see,
That's my
you see the
confidence
difference.
level, Doc.
Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
my
You see,
mind, I'm the
that's how
baddest
you
woman
think.
in that room.
That's right. And most women would do that. And I gave you the opposite with men just now, didn't I? And I told you that men don't think that way
Who's
because
Kemi
men are.
Badenoch? I beg you, go and sit down. When else
There
is
you
there?
go. You see what I'm trying to say? Whereas men don't think like that. As bad as Donald Trump might seem to be, he started the war, he's doing all of these things. He's still the man in that room, and you best be careful.
No, all jokes aside, I would definitely respect other women, their compliments. And think about me, I'm in awe of women who have done well, who are successful. I
Indeed.
listen, yeah. I always listen to women who I find successful, who I think have gone ahead that can show me one or two
Mm-hmm.
things about, building a life. So I always hold my own. That's the thing with me.
Yes.
I
Yep.
don't ever remember being intimidated by
Okay.
any woman in my life. But I've
All right.
always respected other women and said, oh wow, she's done well for herself. What can I learn? Because I heard this a long time ago. The person you're jealous of is usually the person you should be learning from. So rather than use that energy as jealousy, what has this person done, or what are they doing that's held them in that regard? Or who are they? Who have they become? that has kind of given them the respect and the status they have. And if you're someone that wants to add value to yourself, you should be learning from people. But I understand the analogy, and I'll definitely say if Kemi Badnoch, Margaret Thatcher, and all these high-powered women are in the room,
Mm,
I'm not
mm,
talking.
mm.
I'm sitting there thinking, wow, what are
Let me
these
learn.
women
Yeah,
saying? Yeah, let me
indeed,
learn.
indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
So
So I understand
again,
what you're saying.
I've said what I've said. I've known you 2 years now, Esther, and I'm going to say this and take it any way you like. I think you're a good representation of femininity. I
Thank you,
think you
darling.
are. You're a good reputation of femininity. Even when you disagree with someone like you did, our friend Wisdom, you still managed to keep your own. You weren't rude. You weren't disrespectful. People, the men of caliber watch all of these things.
Mm,
They do. And so this is what we want to see in women. So I gave you that example. Now I've told you we're talking about men that are scared of women. What did I say? The man is insecure. The man
mm,
lacks self-esteem because he's not where he knows he should be, judged
mm.
by his own perception of himself.
Wow.
Let that sink in. His own perception of himself. In his own mind, I should be here, but he's only really here. And he's speaking to a woman that's here. That's a problem. And a lot of that stems from one thing: they don't have enough money. Most men don't have enough money. Most men don't have enough money. So that's why keeping a standard here, like myself and Brian, we can go out and the bill can come to £600 and it could be your turn to pay. So when you see that, you're not going to come, are you? No, you're not. Yes, because it can be your, because not only will you not pay, you'll embarrass yourself. Someone else will pay, and now the shame will leave. You'll leave with the shame from the room.
Mm,
So men won't go into the room because they understand the hierarchy. Wait, so he lacks self-esteem, he's insecure, he's not got to the level he wants to get to, and the woman he's speaking to, he knows in his mind she's out of his league,
in what
yet they
sense?
still do it. She knows in his mind that he's not really where he should be to speak to this woman. So when you get to a certain level, do you know what that does? See, Dr. London here, I can speak to anyone. You've heard of Nigella Lawson, yes?
Yes.
Yes, of course. I use it as an example. And I've tested myself. I said, so if Nigella came up now and started speaking to you, would you feel intimidated? I said, me, the doc. I will talk to her properly. And then she will ask for my number. She will invite me to come around and be one of her guests at dinner.
Esther.
Yes, yes, you see that? So you get that now. And most men can't do that. And
So,
wait for it. Wait for
mhm,
it. My friend Brian actually contacted her. They were in contact. He had a cape. He went to go and buy a big cape, these Duke's cape. And she thought, I like the cape. And they started interacting. And so Brian's right on my level. So you see, and it's not just about money, he's far richer than I am. But once you
yeah.
reach a certain level as a man, then you're allowed into any room. That takes a lifetime to build. You're allowed into the room. And you will know that by the energy you exude. That will show the people what you are before you open your mouth. So
Mm,
where men are afraid of losing their women, they've got low self-esteem to start with. They've not built their character up to the level where they should have built it. They don't have enough money, and they just don't think that they're all that. All of these are combined. And they're speaking to a woman that in their mind, in their own mind, they don't think they should be speaking to.
why is
And
that?
I've given you real life examples. Every woman I've dated has not been on my level. None
Mm.
of them have. I've had more money than every woman I've ever dated.
So
Far
is
more
it just
money.
is it just a financial thing? Is it a character thing? So how do we measure when someone's not on your level? What does that mean? What does that look like? What are we measuring? What is
All
the
right.
level that we're measuring
All right.
at?
All right. So you're looking at men and women. So the dynamic between men and men is not the same between women and women because dating is asymmetrical. So let
Hmm.
me give you an example. This is a real life one. I've always told you about my big brother and his wife, haven't I? My big brother, yeah, he's 69 now. His wife is 55, 56. There's a 15-year age gap. And
Mm.
he met her when she was 48. And she, first of all, wasn't sure. And then they got together. And my brother said to me that, I said it yesterday, that she's not his type. My brother has the same type of me. If you ask me to describe my woman, 5'5", 6'7", 5'8", size 14, 16, curve, hips, everything. Medium is okay, big, a bit bigger is better, but that's it. The lady he married is 5'2" and medium, but she's very classy. An
In
older version of
character.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, very classy. An older version of you. Petite, soft, and feminine, and she's a Nigerian woman too, but she's British, and she's very successful, approaching millionaire status in her own right. So
Okay.
men being intimidated is not true. So overall, she's most probably slightly richer than him. But
Okay.
as people get older, it's different. That's another discussion again, right?
Mm,
So that's it. So men, when men go into a room, if men have not reached a certain level, they won't feel comfortable in the room. So if you put Obama, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk in the room, here's what I'm thinking. They've had more opportunity than me to build money, but the character's not better than mine. And me, myself, I'm almost at millionaire status. So I'm somebody. So which
mm,
means in the black community, Doc here is in the top 1%. Me. I'm in the top
okay.
1%. I've written that in the blueprint, top 1%. Most black men don't even own their own house. And on that note, quickly, in the UK, from my research, only 31% of black people own their own home, and only 9 out of 100 adults own it without a mortgage, which
Mm,
means 61% of people are on assisted tenancy or renting. Let that sink in. Out of every 100 adults that are black in the UK, only 39% of them own their own home, which means 61% are renting or on benefits. So
mm,
if you look at that as a number, how then do you think these people are going to get in the room with these people and feel the same? So you can see the problem now. Okay. And these people, they work in Mayfair. Most of these people have never been to Mayfair. How will you
mm,
meet them? And if they go once and they see what they're doing, they're not going to go back again because it's way out of their league. They feel intimidated. And in many cases, the discussions these people have, they're talking about politics and how to change the world. The people
yeah.
down here, as I mentioned earlier, are talking about other people. Oh, this one did
Mm,
this and this one did that. And high value people don't have time for that. They don't
mm,
have time to be doing talk about me, talk about you discussions. It's small-minded people that do that.
mm,
Small-minded people speak about other people. Medium-minded people, they speak about events, and large-minded people speak about the future and how to impact it positively. So all of these things stay into that dynamic. So if you, being a high-value woman, get with this man that's never dated someone like you, he will feel intimidated. He will. But that's
mm,
just that person. Most successful men are not intimidated by any woman at all, ever. So I would never be intimidated by you because I'm more successful than you or
mm,
anyone else. And
mm.
even if you're more successful than me, I still wouldn't be intimidated by you because I've reached that level.
You hold your
It's like
own.
saying, yes, it's like saying I've got 1 million and she's got 8 million. So we're still both millionaires and I can
And
still
I,
talk to you in the same room.
and I
It's the
think a
same.
man, yes,
Yeah.
Doc, trying to cut you off. I think a man who somehow finds himself with such a woman, he's probably overwhelmed that she's even talking to him at times.
Yeah.
And I find
Part
that
of it
men
too.
like that, their insecurities begin to play out in they feel the need to humble the woman. I've had a guy say to me, "Oh, you think you're all that?" And I said, "No, you think I'm all that," because I've
Yes.
never been disrespectful. I've always been
Mhm.
kind. So
Mhm.
sometimes they feel the need to humble you in a way where they want to deal with you on a level that they are comfortable with.
Comfortable with.
So
That's
rather
right.
than them working on their character, working on themselves, working on self-esteem, and I say to women, don't date a guy that's insecure. Don't date a
Tell your
guy.
sisters that. Please tell your sisters that.
Yeah, I
Don't date
do.
a guy that's not on your level. Tell them that. They
Don't
don't understand. Tell
for
them that.
me.
Because if you say
Yeah,
what he's saying, he's not meant to be with you. Oh, you think you're all that, don't you? They're
yeah.
talking about themselves. They're the ones with the issue.
Yeah, he won't know how to handle you. So
Yeah.
what he's going to be doing because of that insecurity, he's literally going to suck the life out of you. So
He will.
he's not going to prep you up. He's not
Edify
going to
you. It's not going to
yeah,
edify
he's
you
not
in any
going
way.
to encourage you to keep growing. That guy is going to try and pull you down to a place where he feels that he can handle you, or to a place where he feels that, oh, I need her to be beneath me. So he'll suck the life out of you. And they just have this almost borderline narcissistic behavior. So I think for women, when vetting, you have to kind of look at guys, where's his self esteem? If a guy says, "Oh, you're too good for me," he believes it.
That's
Leave it
what he
alone.
believes.
That's
Leave
what
it
he
alone.
believes. Yeah,
And he's
leave it
told you
alone.
that. I don't
Yeah,
understand. He's
yeah. If
told you
he
that.
says you're too good for me, he's saying, I don't think I deserve you. Therefore, I don't know how to handle you. I don't know what to do. What can I, how do I show up in your life? And it's because a man like that doesn't know how to show up in the life of a woman who is successful when he, in his mind, feels he has nothing to offer her. And it's not always
And that's
money.
because he's got nothing. And that's because he's got nothing to offer her. That's why.
It's not
We'll give
really,
it to you
Doc.
straight. That's because no, he's got nothing to offer her. So she's a doctor. She's earning £120,000 a year. She lives in Highgate, or she lives in what you call it. She lives in Clapham or Battersea or Vauxhall in a swanky 3-bedroom flat that's worth 500 or 600,000, and you're living in East Ham in a room in East Ham. Yes. Driving a 12-year-old BMW while she's got a BYD 25 plate. She's got a BYD 25
Oh
plate.
my God.
Yeah.
Are these
No,
women
yeah.
never going to find husbands at this rate? Because what's going on?
No, no, they are going to find husbands, and I'll touch on that quickly. And I'm saying it to all the ladies that will listen to this at some stage, if not live, they'll listen to it. Ladies, when you're over 30, you're over 30, 32, 33, and your life is together, and you know your life is together, look for men up to the age of 50, 55. Find a man that can do the job that you want. You won't listen. You need a man. I've said it before. We have the matchmaking. I'm saying it again. Before you disqualify any man, let him present himself to you. Then you disqualify him because he can't do what you need him to do. Stop
Mm,
using age to disqualify men. You're hurting yourself. Yeah, men of 60 marry women of 30, men of 65 marry women of 40. They do all the time. The first thing you need is a man that can do. Can he do the things you need him to do?
mm,
Yes. Then look at that man. Stop saying, well, I'm 32 and I don't want any man over 34. What you're doing is you're excommunicating yourself from the pool. I need a man that can be a husband, that can give me his seed, that can have children, protect, provide, procreate, problem solve, plan for the future, and that's relatively attractive and a responsible man steeped in character. That's what you need. And if
mm,
I'm 35 and that man is 60, then take that man, because then you've got what you want. Until you get to 45 now, when the man of 60 says, well, I think I can have 2 more kids. And because you're 45, I've got to know you a year or two. Now you're 48. I don't want to risk having a kid with a 48-year-old and then he goes away.
mm.
I'm not going to lie to you, Esther. I'm going to tell you how it is. So
Ah,
at
thank
whatever
God for
age you are,
Jesus. Thank
go,
God for
go,
Jesus and
yes,
miracles.
miracles. Go, and now it may be that you just happen to, God just sends the one that's perfect for you and you grab him. God bless you. But in the interim, don't reject men.
Yeah, of
See
course.
them first. Who is this man? What does he
Give him a
do? Where
chance.
is he? Yes, right. And do what I call create the architecture, the profile of who he is, and then
Mm,
ask yourself: is this man capable of doing the job I need him to do? And if the
mm,
answer to that is yes, then think about going with that. As
mm,
women, you keep getting older, and the older you get, by naturally the options you get reduce. So now, when you find the men that are available, you don't like them. They're too insecure. They're fat. They're overweight, or some of them have bad hygiene. They're not respectful. They lack social skills and etiquette. They don't have the class. You're afraid to introduce them to your friends and family. So he's got a 2-bedroom flat in Fulham, and he drives a car. So what? There's anxiety in you because you know he's not right. That's why.
mm. I
And
mean,
then
I
what
always
you
look
do?
for
Then you then
character.
go and marry him when you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't settle. I think,
No, you
I mean,
settle for the right person.
yeah, settle for the right person. Don't, if you know that someone is just not right for you, don't think because, oh, you're getting older, let me just manage this one. I've
This
always
one,
said,
yeah. Let me just,
don't
yeah,
manage,
that's
yeah,
fine. Let me
don't
just
manage
manage this
people.
one.
Yeah, don't
You'll
manage
be single
people.
faster than you can say Jack Thomas. You'll be single
It's
again.
it's toxic. It's stressful. It's just the
When's
worst thing you could possibly do to yourself. And I think I'll add to something actually. So there's this kid, and I call him a kid. I think he's about 25 years old. I used to mentor him years ago, but it was always a bit tongue in cheek, cheeky. So they always message me, he would like, Auntie Esther, I want to marry you. He's young. I start laughing. I say, this is a small boy. But I always say to him, you could be the president one day because the level of confidence this guy has when he talk, I said, see this boy, yo, but it's this whole idea. I said, don't worry, it's because I don't have money. He's got that youthful exuberance, and I
exuberant?
laugh. I said, go and find a girl your age. All this one that you're pestering your auntie. I said, do you want to marry your mom? He's like, don't worry, I'll make money in the next 5 years. I'm gonna come and marry you. I laugh and I say, and I encourage him because I just see him as a little brother. And I said to him, I said, you see this energy that you're using to chase women, put that
Use
in
it to
business.
chase into
Business, yeah.
business. Yeah.
Use that
And then
energy
the
in
women will
becoming
turn up. The women will turn up for you.
yeah, and I say to because the thing is, I think, and what I love about him as a person, and I love that he's a young black boy with confidence, and I try and maintain that. I never speak down to him. I engage him in banter and we laugh. And I say to him, I love the fact that you have confidence, and I don't want you to lose that. I don't want you to lose your fire. I don't want. He feels that he can achieve and accomplish anything, and I think any man that has that mindset that he can achieve and accomplish anything, and I think a woman is more inclined to say, okay, this guy has the drive, he has a drive, he has the confidence. I think sometimes women look for character. I look for character.
You
People can
said
have
first.
I look for character is very important to me. How you treat me is very important to me. It's a big deal to me because I work very hard to not be disrespectful. I go out of my way to be kind. I don't want to be handled roughly. I don't want to be treated badly. I don't want anyone to intentionally hurt me, to deceive me, to lie to me, because you're giving trust. Relationships are built on trust, right? Relationships are built on the fact that, are you a safe space for me? And I always say the number one need of both people is a safe space, right? Is
Yes.
she, and you mentioned that in the
Safe.
very beginning,
Exactly. I mentioned
is
it,
she a
safe.
safe space for him
Mm.
in whatever
Mhm.
he's going through?
Can he be vulnerable? Yes.
Yeah,
Or
and
is she
are you a
like,
safe space for me? And one of the reasons why I advocate, and it's a weird one, Doc. I'll say what's on my mind. When people are getting married young, they both have nothing. You're literally taking a risk. You've left university. You're both building a life together. You're forming your life together. You're doing life together, and you're planning to build something. When you're middle aged, and like the disparity now, some people on their second marriages, the first one didn't work out. Some people on their first marriages. I've spent my whole life by myself, so to speak, building my life and doing all of that, hoping to share it with someone. So you're at a point now where, what's the starting point? Where are we starting from? Right. And I'm listen, one thing you'll never take away from me is my faith in God. I strongly believe that God can fix and God can do anything. That's one thing. What looks
no,
humanly impossible, I
possible?
believe God condensed in
You
time.
can
I've seen
fix
God
it,
do it
repair
in
it.
my life. Yeah, I started my career very late. I spent the first 10, 15 years being a personal trainer, earning low end jobs because I wanted to be a pop star. So I never thought about pursuing a career. So I started my career very late. By the time I started thinking about getting into corporate, my friends were in like their third jobs. But within 4, 5, 6 years, God
Wow.
catapulted my
My
career
goodness. Yeah.
vastly. And that was the favor of God. So I never take away God's voice and all these things that we kind of put these unnecessary pressures on ourselves. So I said that all that to say there are exceptions to the rule at times. There are exceptions to what people think the outcomes of things are going to be. I've seen one or two exceptions, and it kind of it depends on you. As far as is possible with you, what can you handle? There's certain things I will not take, but I think I wouldn't turn down a guy who's not 100% there. You just have to have drive. I think for me, that's far much more important. Having drive, a desire to get it done. I'm very driven, so I don't do lazy. I
Uh,
can't. That
I
for
just
me,
wanted,
yeah.
I just wanted to say, I've said this about you enough times, Esther. I made a comment earlier on. What did I say? That you're the epitome of femininity and class and reasoning and good character. Most women cannot and do not think like you. You said earlier on that you don't want a man to treat you badly. You can't deal with that, etc., etc. You're not going to like what I'm going to say. That's because of who you are now. You're a mature, seasoned, and well-grounded woman. Most people, women are not like you. Many
Mm,
women know they're being treated badly, and they'll stay with that man just so they can say they have a man. So they
nah,
can put two fingers up to their family that say they can't get a man. They can put two fingers up to their friends. They can make their friends jealous. He smacks her around every so often. He cheats on her every so often, and she still doesn't say anything.
because
And
she
the older
prefers the
woman gets,
title
yeah,
of being a wife
indeed,
than
indeed.
self-respect. Yeah,
And then
and a lot of
the
women are in
older,
that situation.
yeah, the older a woman gets, especially if she remains single, there's less likely she's going to tolerate that. When my brother met his wife, his third wife, she was 48. This was 7 years ago, around COVID time. Yeah, just before COVID. She was 48 and she looked about 35, black don't crack sort of thing.
Oh,
And when he introduced her to me and he looked at me, I looked at him, I said, yes, I concur, definitely. I just said, let me say what I said, an older version of you. Why
mm,
is this important? You have your own property, you have your own money, you have your own job, your self-esteem is high. You know who you are. How many women do you think have all those things I just mentioned?
mm.
Let me just help you, less than 20%. So a lot of the other women are going to stay single because they can't carry. I'm going to say this whether you like it or not. For most women to have a meaningful life, they need to be with a good man. For most women to have a meaningful life, they need to be with a good man. Next problem, there aren't that many good men available. There are good men, but they're not available.
Ain't
There are
that
not
the
that many. You see,
truth?
there are not that many good men available. So what tends to happen sometimes is the woman will knowingly just get with this so-so man, hoping things will mysteriously work themselves out as they get along, as they go along. But when women get older, they become more accomplished, they become more settled, more confident, have higher self-esteem. They don't tend to accept that. Your friend that you introduced me to, the other lady, she wouldn't accept it either.
No, she wouldn't.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They won't
Zero
accept it. So
nonsense.
when women get older, they're more established, own car, own house, know who they are. They're grounded in their faith. They become much less tolerant. They become very tolerant. So not only must a man have good character, he has to work on a certain level, which is exactly the same way my brother's wife looked at him. Who is this man? Is he tall? Yes. Is he handsome? Yes. Do I like his friends? Yes. He's got his big house in Finchley. I like his son. Me, I'm not having any kids. Will my friends respect this man? Yes. Is he soft, caring, and warm to me? Yes. Is he funny? Yes. When I go on holiday with him, do I feel happy and relaxed? Yes. He's my husband. Why didn't
Mm,
she say, oh, he's 15 years older than me? That's too old. Why didn't
mm,
she say that? This is how a lot of your sisters keep themselves single.
yeah.
You're
I
32, a
can.
man of 48 comes and you say, that's your uncle now. You want to marry your uncle. They listen to their friends and other
Mm,
rubbish people. And then 6 or 7 years later, they're still single. And the uncle that they would have married then now doesn't want them anymore. He's going to marry someone else around their age. So
mm,
that's how it works. The older a woman gets, the more accomplished she is, the less tolerant she tends to be, the more self-esteem she has, as long as she dwells within her what?
her
Femininity.
femininity. Yeah.
Yes. Because some of them become what we call boss babes. They've got a job, they've got a car. I don't need no man. No man can tell me what to do. If any man does this and that, and then you're going to stay single. Definitely. You're going to stay single and you'll get the bits and pieces you can get. And that's just the truth. Any man of caliber that you would want to marry, if he sees you speaks like that, he will disqualify you.
Mm,
I've disqualified so many women on social media just
yeah.
from association because they're rude and disrespectful,
A lot of women
shouting and
are.
screaming at me.
They are.
Yeah,
They
so
are.
now they're disqualified from
Yeah.
any kind of association. I don't even want you on my platform.
Yeah.
So
Some.
that's what you need to tell them.
Yeah,
Have
women
I
need to
got that?
filter how they speak. No, a lot of women do. Even I get one of the things I say to a woman is just stay in your femininity, be classy. You don't need to be disrespectful to be heard. You just walk away from disrespect, and
Exactly. Leave
and
it.
then one of the things I did was, unfortunately, I think I was quite naive. I'd give people the benefit of the doubt but the benefit of the doubt longer than what they deserved,
I
because
was
I'm
about to
always
say,
looking for the best in people. I'm always
is
thinking,
it?
okay, you're going through a bad season, I'm
Well, let's see.
expecting it to get better, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And at that
That's
point
right.
I'm
Yeah.
like, this person doesn't belong in my life.
Mm. So that's right. A quick buttress on that. Giving people the benefit of the doubt is a good thing, but it must be managed. So that's what I'll say, which is what you've done. And
Mm,
this is on the platform yesterday. One lady, she's written to me just now to say thank you. She was with a man for 5 years that didn't propose to her. And I told her, what are you doing with a man for 5 years? Making it worse, she was in Nigeria, he was in London. And now she just called him one day, hearing a baby crying in the background. He'd married someone else. So I told her, I said, what are you doing? And I
wow.
gave them the full architecture then, and that's why she was thankful. And I said, thank you for coming up. So I've given a lot of
Fantastic,
advice
Kesha.
for free already. So she came up there, 28, was with the guy for 2023. And then she kept asking, when are you going to marry? When are you coming? When are you coming to? And he kept on dribbling her and dribbling her. I said, once you have been with a man for 6 months, you can't see any plan that's going on. Leave him immediately. Don't spend
Six
any more
months.
time with him.
Right, you got 3 months to let them know what's going on. It doesn't take that long for you to
Yeah, there you go. To
six
suss
months.
somebody out.
Yeah,
And I
like
only said 6 months because he was in Britain and she was in Nigeria.
exactly. After three
And then I,
months, if you don't see me in your life, let's just call it quits. No
you
one's got
might be
time to
fixed.
waste. Yeah, if I
There
don't
you
fit the
go.
picture,
Yeah,
let's
I
keep
need
it
to see it.
moving.
And
Nothing's
I
by
told
force.
I said, you are in Nigeria and he was in England. And I said, you were on and off for 5 years. She said, just I asked her a question. I said, can you tell me, did he ever sponsor you to come to England to see where he lived and what he was doing? No. What does that
Mm.
then tell you? So these are the things. Was there anything else I've missed? Understanding the affairs of wives and pressures of men. I've given
No,
you the man. I've given you the
yeah.
man scenario. Then it was the man woman. So man scenario. They look at the men in the room. They know where they are. And then we're talking about the man woman where the man is insecure. I've told you why. He's shooting for a lady out of his league. He has low self-esteem. He hasn't achieved what he wants to achieve. And in terms of character and class, the woman is above him. So ordinarily, he should be dating her. And this is why I get upset with women because they shouldn't have entertained him. Don't
Mm.
entertain him. Send him straight back down to his class. Don't entertain him. Don't entertain him.
What about the good guy who is in your class, who is genuinely a good guy, but he's going through a season in his life right now where he's not quite there? Does he not deserve to have a woman in his life? What about that guy who is
All right.
genuinely just going through a bad season in his life in terms of maybe financially he's made some losses? And because I always say you meet people in chapters in their lives. So how do you decipher that this is actually a good guy, but he's going through a season right now, but there is something. Do you abandon it? Do you leave it? Do you support
Okay.
that kind of guy? How do you kind of navigate that situation? What do we
All
do
right,
for the
I'll
good
come
guy?
to that. But before I got to that, there was something I said yesterday. I wanted to say, I've remembered now. Esther, as a woman, you will learn this from your doc today. Not every man is supposed to have access to you.
100%.
What does that mean? What it means is that the aura you carry should block a lot of men coming to you.
Mm,
It should just block them. They should look at you and think, oh no, this is too much. I can't deal with this. Yes, that's correct. So that the men that turn up, it makes it easier for you to decipher who is who. Because the vast majority of men, I've said it before, 80% of people that come around you are not for you. So the vast people are just vagabonds strolling through. And they'll stop at this shop. And if you open the door, then they'll come in. So you shouldn't. I'm saying that to you, ladies. Listen to me. Your job is to continue to build yourself into the best version of yourself. Get your money right. Get your weight down. Get your character up. Don't tell lies. Don't cheat. Don't smoke. Don't drink. If you have a faith, be centered in that faith. Be soft. Be warm. Be feminine. Okay? Be respectful to everybody, even when you don't like them, so that you carry that aura with you. And then when men approach you, if the man, as you know, you should know, if the man does not approach you well or is not on your level, you shut him down politely. Hey, sis, look, I like the way you're dressing you now. I just thought I'd say hello. Okay, well, thank you. That's very nice of you, sir. Can I talk to you? No, I'm engaged, and I don't think it's appropriate that I speak to you. End it there. But thank you very much for approaching. That's it. Perfect. So that energy continues to come towards you. So that when the right man comes, you'll know.
mm.
Hello, Esther. How do you do? I listened to what you had to say. I thought it was so cute. It was. And on the point. I just wondered, Esther, I think we should continue that conversation because there are a few questions I'd like to ask you personally. Can I just buy you a cocktail or something? Yes, okay. So tell me, Esther, explain this to me, if you will, in layman's terms. So now
Hmm.
she's sitting there thinking, who is this guy? But that takes years to cultivate. It
It
takes years.
does.
So then you'll know because that's the approach you want. So
It's
when you
how they
got that
approach you.
approach,
I
yes,
should
yes, yes, yes,
I should show you my
yes.
inbox. Some of the messages that I get the most read. Hey baby, how are you? I want to marry you. I'm thinking, what?
That's what I'm saying. So that's all that is for Jess. So it's the
Yeah.
approach. So let me say what I want so I don't forget. As a woman, the vast majority of men are not meant to approach you. Only
Mm,
certain types of men are meant to approach you. And when those types of men approach you, you should know. And if you don't, that's a you thing. And then you entertain those men. Many of these men may not be suitable for a husband, but you can add them to your network of men. And I've said this to you ladies, whenever you find a man of quality, even when you're not attracted to him, keep him in your circle
yeah.
because you don't know when you're going to need him for help or when he might be able to help you or put in a good word. And this comes down to your femininity. Just because the man isn't your type and looks like a bit of a gorilla doesn't mean you need to insult him. So after he's gone, you know what they say? Did he not even look at himself before he approached me? Don't
I've
do
heard
that.
someone yeah, I've heard someone say that
Someone
before.
they
Like,
say all the time. Then they go like
yeah,
this, stupid man. Look how ugly he is. Look at the way he's even
yeah,
dressed.
yeah.
Can he not see me before he approaches him? When you do
I've
that, what
literally
you're
heard
doing,
someone say that
yes,
before.
you're
I have.
driving away the good men. You're punishing yourself. You're driving away the good men.
Yeah, I have
Because
heard
what will
someone.
happen is when a good man comes along, you won't know how to behave. You think you will, but he's a good man for a reason. He has
Mm,
standards for a reason. So all of that rubbish you're doing with the average guys won't work. And this is what hurts women the most. They
mm,
find this good guy and they can't hold on to him. As we were discussing yesterday, you'll drop the ball. They find a good man, they can't hold on to him because they don't know how to treat good men because they've not been trained and they've never had any good men. But the
mm,
good man that's now steeped in character knows how he needs to be treated. And when he doesn't see that from you, he will leave. So that's what I
mm,
said. Women, continue to work on your character, build yourselves up, your faith, your femininity, keep your weight down, dress smartly. Eau de parfum is important, and be polite and respectful. Get your hair done properly, weave or not, make sure it's neat and tidy. Men are suckers for that. And yes, Esther, if I met you on the street and you're talking and I listen to the way to talk, I say, she's got weave, but I will still speak to her. It's okay, come here. You have millionaires, got me. See, this is the same kind of thing. So if you're down there running your mouth or you've got some stupid dress on, when I was down
yeah.
there, this lady had this very bright green dress on. I thought, who told you to wear that to a banking meeting? What are you doing? It should be dark blue or gray or what you're wearing now. They don't get it. And the weave that was orange on her head. you're disqualified. You look a mess. And she
Oh
thought she
God.
was funny. You look a mess, a complete mess, because the man's character, they hold certain things dear, and they won't tell you. So in her mind, she's a babe. Yes, to low
Oh,
quality men, you might be a babe, but to
this
the
is a
man
lot.
that you want, it's going to disqualify you completely.
Oh man, well, this is a lot.
Why you? So I've
It's a
man
lot.
to man now. I've done that. Men and men, how they look at each other. There's hierarchy, and whether the man has done well, they feel that man, woman. Some men try to shoot for women out of their league because it's an ego boost, but it doesn't work because after a while they won't be able to carry the
You
woman.
can't
They start
maintain
to feel
it.
insecure.
Lack
Yeah,
of
then they
character.
begin to they begin to disrespect the woman. Then you then ask me now, what if a man is not doing very well? So, for example, now you meet a fine man, he's doing okay, but he's short of money, his business has run aground. What do? You just support from a distance, don't get too involved, and watch the progress. And the more you see the progress, the more you get involved. You get it now. Yes?
Mm,
When you met him, he was here. Yes? And so because he was down here, you stay here. And then as he begins to move up, you get closer to him. You get closer to him, right? Because he's showing you he can do it. But what
mm,
women don't do, they don't do that. The woman here will go and jump into bed with him, expecting him to get up and get up and get up. Then he won't get up, then she will fall out of the bed. Now all men
mm,
are bad.
yeah. Men need. I've learned men need to figure themselves out. They need to solve
Now,
their own
yes,
problems. Yeah,
they've got to solve their own
they have
problems.
to.
You're not to build any man.
You can't give someone drive. You can't give
No,
someone
no,
a
no,
desire to
no,
want to be
no,
better. And
no,
it's.
no.
I'm very driven. I'm very driven in terms of maximizing my own potential. So I would prefer the person to have their own drive. You don't want to be picking someone up all the time.
So
What are you doing?
you merge. It becomes a
That's too
merger.
much. Yeah, it's too much
You
stress.
add yours to mine. Then we support each other. Then we
Yeah,
can go forward and slay. We can
yeah.
go
He should
forward
be
and slay as
driven
a
from
power couple.
himself, have his own thing going on, have his own passions, have the things that he likes doing, and then together you're building each other up. And I think we don't understand. And a thought came into my head when it comes to electricity, maybe opposites attract, but when it comes to relationships, the more alike you are, the easier
Better.
it is.
The easier
Amos
is to run that
3:3, yeah.
relationship.
Can two walk unless they agree? The
Unless they
more
agree, no.
areas you agree in life, we agree that we're going to do this way. We agree that we're going to speak to each other like this. We agree this is how we're going to do. The more in agreement you are, the easier the relationship. Because conflict is a lack of agreement. I don't like being
Is
treated like this. You think it's okay to treat me like this. I don't think we should do this. So where there's disagreement in values, in purpose, and alignment, that's where conflict comes from. So the Bible talks about the two shall become one. You're
mm-hmm.
working towards being unified in spirit, soul, and body. You're becoming one. So the more when you meet someone, the more alike you are in your reasoning, your culture, the way you do life, it gives you a smooth start, right? It gives you a smooth start. And I don't believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, I'm open to correction. Sometimes I think when a man has it all together by himself, he's super made. Like, Doc, you're wealthy, you've built your life, and you bring a woman into your life. And sometimes, as good as of a woman she may be, she may not be there yet, but she has the character, she has the drive. It's just things of just a bit. So, actually, I think I've answered my own question. Depending on that man's character, he might feel that, well, I was built before I met you. You haven't added anything to me. You haven't come into my life to make me better. We haven't built anything together. I did this without you. So you being here, sometimes a man looks like he's rescuing the woman. He's doing her a favor, and
That's
that can
because
lead,
he is.
yeah,
That's because he is.
but
We're
can
going
lead
to
to
talk about
ill
it really
treatment.
because he's
Yeah.
doing that favor. That's because he is.
But men don't mind doing that. Men, because for some men, it makes them feel like the man, right? You found this woman who's lesser than you, then you
Which is
pour
most
into her.
men. Most men are going to find women that are lesser than them. The
Yeah.
bit that was critical, which I just wrap up to say if you haven't said all of that, is that we had an unspoken rule. I will provide the money. I will look after you. You have the sex with me so you can have children. Look after the children. Be soft, be feminine, be warm, and support me. And we go like that. That was the rule that God gave us. God
Mm.
never asked any woman to go and bring money. Did God ask anyone to go and bring money? Never. He's never
No.
asked anyone. Exactly. So then what happened was they broke the rule. Men are going to engage in hypogamy, dating down. Women engage in hypergamy, dating up. That's how it is. You have to be better than her because she needs to know that you can fight for her, look after her, take a bullet, give her seed, bigger, stronger, faster, more competent, more capable. And the more of those things you have, the more content she becomes because she's under your covering and shelter. What happens is sometimes when ladies get to a certain age, they've earned all the things that men will do. They find it difficult to respect men. Men take on women that they know that are bad because they look fine and they've got this and that and the other. They think, okay, she'll have a few kids and we'll go with that. She has the
She has
kids, then she
front and
takes the
back.
kids.
So they
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
they just deal with
yeah,
that. They settle
yeah,
for that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then she has the babies, then she takes the kids away. Now you can't see the kids, the Jezebel woman, the Ahab, or what's her name, the wife of Ahab, or what's her name?
Yeah, Jezebel.
Jezebel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's it. You become the Medusa woman
Delilahs
as
and Jezebels. Yeah.
well. That's it. So we've seen that. And so I tell men that, and I've told men this too, forgo beauty for character. Forgo
Mm.
beauty. If your wife has an average face and she has an above average body, be okay with that. She has an average face. What is average? A 5. Most people are average. And I say these things. I've seen a lot of our sisters. Forgive me, Esther. Forgive me. Most of them are 3s and 4s. They talk too much. They're fat and overweight. The stupid weave and stupid makeup that they have on is too much. I've said it. I don't hold my back. The
Oh
stupid
God.
weave and stupid. Now, there's some women that you see when you wear your weave, it looks very neat. See how neat it is.
Weave, this is my head, girl. What do you mean weave?
It's very neat. It's very neat and tidy and clean.
You have to
But
be
when they
classy
wear,
as a woman. You
yes, it's
have
got to be
to.
classy.
You do
So
have to
is
be.
it man? Is it that men hate weave? Yeah, wear your weave every so often, but rock with your own hair as well. Dress
Yeah.
appropriately.
Mm.
Yeah. You don't ever want a man to reject you because you're overweight or you've got a bad mouth. And you can't use money to equate it because relationships are asymmetrical. What we primarily look for in you is not what you primarily look for in us. Primarily, yeah,
Mm.
you want good character, financial ability, resource strength, character, direction, leadership. We want femininity, softness, the ability to produce children, support, loving, caring, respect. How are they the same? They're not. Remember what I said. What we look for primarily, we both want respect. We both need to have character. But
Mm.
primarily, that's how it is. If primarily you don't look good, we won't speak to you. If primarily you look good and we speak to you and your character's bad, the good man will walk away. That's why
Yeah.
you see lots of they're fine ladies not married. There's one on my platform. I won't mention her name. And every time I see her, she reminds me of you a bit. She's very attractive.
Oh, I don't
She's
have bad
very, she's,
character.
no, that's not what I said. I meant in terms of fineness is what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
Yes, yes. And she's fine. And I think when you're this fine and you're not married, the problem is most probably you. Why is the problem you? This is what I say as the doctor. You're fine like this. I know 2 of them, and you can't find a man. And I'm going to say it. You're not going to like me. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. You've had plenty of sex, though. Yeah. You've had sex with men. Oh, yeah, you have. But none of those men have married you as fine as you are. That tells me that there's a problem with you. Because
Yeah.
men want fineness. Men want to sleep with fineness. So
Those
if men
women.
sleep with fineness, then why would they want to marry fineness when that's what men want? They're not
Mm.
marrying the fineness because the character's poor. That includes expectation and entitlement. And I asked her, I said, can a man spend too much money on you? And she smiled and looked up into the sky and looked down again. She doesn't know
Mm.
that that's a disqualifier.
She's not a
What she's
wife.
just told me,
She doesn't have the
that
character of a wife. Yeah.
yeah, what she's just told me is that if that man spends all the money on you, you'll be happy. And then when there's no money left, you'll say it's his fault. And you'd
Mm.
be right, it would be his fault. What I was expecting her to say was, well, no, I don't need him spending all the money. I need him to bring a good house that I can turn into a home. I need him to have money to pay school fees for my children. And if he can treat me every so often, I'm good. That's what a wife will say.
Mm.
Can a man spend too much money on you? If he can get me a Birkin bag and Louis Vuitton bag and take me on holiday and take me to nice restaurants, that's a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So what will happen is you're going to meet the man that can carry. And the man that can carry, someone like me will think, no, she's just going to spend my money. I'm going to get very angry with you very quickly because what you're working on is where we're going tomorrow and what we're doing next week. You're not
The,
asking me about the business.
the
What business
lifestyle.
do. It's the lifestyle you're looking for.
Yeah.
So
She's
when
not
you
trying
see
to
a woman
build with
that's
you.
beautiful, yeah, when you see women that are like that, 34, 35, 36, they've got their own flat, their own car, and they're fine and they're single, the problem is most probably them.
Mm.
Why do I say this? One, they've set the standard too high. 2, because of what they do, the men that they want are very few and far between. For example, you're a devout Christian. You've got to get a devout Christian as a man. So now that's a big problem.
It's
because
not
the
a
devout
problem if you
Christian
got
men,
men.
yeah, see, the devout Christian men are very few. Most of them are married, and the ones that aren't, they're firstly being competed for. If they're any good, they've got any masculinity about them. And thirdly, as I said before, Esther, and I made it clear, a lot of these women are not doing actually any work to find their husband. They're not doing any work. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to church. What are you doing on Sunday? Oh, I've got choir practice after church. What are you doing on Tuesday? I'm going to prayer meeting. What about Wednesday? I've got to meet my son. What about Thursday? I've got to go meet my dad because he's not quite well. And then what will you do on Saturday? Oh, my friend is getting married. And I'm sitting down there plotting that chat, and I think, so where do you then have the time to actually focus on getting a man?
Mm,
I've said it 1,000 times, my words don't change. Show me in the architecture of your life what time you've set aside to find your own husband and start your own family at 42 or 41 or 40. Tell me. They've not even thought about it. They're too
yeah.
busy, they're too self-absorbed in their own life. So where's the energy then to attract a man into your life? Where? Where's that? There's none. There's none. You're too busy all over the place. Half the time they don't see you. Okay, you've got a busy schedule. Cut out time to get your fine. So what are you doing this month? I've got to go to 2 events a month. What events must you go to? Where they're mature men that are of my level, where I could potentially make my. That's where you go. You got to do 12 of those a month. Like Laksak Fig tomorrow. Go
Yeah.
there. Those are the kinds you do. But the sisters don't do it. I'm telling you. Even to come to the platform just to shop, they don't. That's another reason why they're going to stay single, because they're lazy, they're not focused, and they're entitled. They're lazy, they don't want to do the work. Secondly, they're not focused. Thirdly, they're entitled. Entitled how? They expect God just to send them out and put it into their lap. Now, God can do that. That's called grace. But in most cases, He's not going to do that. You've not done any work. You're not focused on finding anyone, and you're lazy when it comes to investing time and effort into it. So then you're going to get the results you're getting. That's what you're harvesting, what you've sown, and you haven't sown.
Mm,
And then the next problem then happens is when you find that man, so a man, a gent like me turns up, you don't know how to handle him because you don't have any training.
yeah. They don't know how
Not
to handle
because
good
you're
men.
bad, you don't know how to handle him, and you don't understand that that man has got a lot of character, has spent years building himself, has had his own wars and troubles and problems, and he's not going to allow a mediocre woman like you into his life. And you don't even realize you're mediocre. In fact, you think you're the bee's knees. It
Yeah.
might be that the local men you've been speaking to make you feel that way. But at this level, at the highest level where we work, you don't qualify for that. You see,
Yeah. You have to know how to. I think so, too many women have encountered men with poor character that when
correct.
you actually meet a good guy, they don't know how to speak to him.
There you
They
go.
don't know
There
how
you
to
go.
be
You go.
respectful. And I find women, and I find even in jest, don't disrespect a guy, a good guy, because I think a good guy is
That's
very
beside them.
self-respecting. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
self-respecting,
Beside you.
and yeah, respect is a big thing to men. How do you make him feel about himself? Are you trying to belittle him? How are you making him feel about himself outside of his comforts? And I think respect is very important to both parties.
Yeah, but especially
Everybody
to
should
men.
respect each other. But when you find a guy that's a good guy and you're a bit of an uncouth woman, you don't know how to
And that's not
speak,
going to work.
you have
No.
no
No.
behavior in public, your mouth just blah, you just, even jokingly, you're quite you're brash in the way that you speak. You can embarrass that guy in public, right? So there are a lot of dynamics between men and women that people are trying to filter out. And by all means, be your own person. Like me, I can laugh, I can take banter and things like that. But I'm always mindful that, when you're speaking to men, respect is a big deal when it comes to men. So be very fragile in terms of how
Let
you
me give you,
treat
you
people.
speak to them. Look at this. So let me use myself as an example for fun. So I'm sitting across a lady, and these are two parallel women. One of them says, Doctor, you this man, always wearing those funny caps. Firstly, don't address me as you this man. And
Mm,
these are not caps, they're hats. And this is called a Panama. So you see that. Hey Doc, how are you doing, sir? I'm fine, thank you. It's glad to see you again. Good to see you. Well, thank you. Doc, you're iconic. You've always got these cute hats on. How do you do it? Which one do you think I'm going to date again?
yeah.
You see it?
The one who affirms you, indeed. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You, this man, you're always wearing these funny caps. Firstly, you're uncouth. These are not caps, they're hats. And yes, I
Mm,
do have hair on my head. Okay. And don't refer to me as you, this man. You're funny, Esther. You don't refer to me as you, this man. You see, they're used to speaking rubbish to men, and because the men want to sleep with them, they just accept it.
yeah.
That's
You have
it.
to learn to respect. I mean, I always say that, if you can't respect a man, this is someone that husband material. This guy is
Zero.
supposed to lead you, right? You're supposed to be, you have to respect him. Even if he's playing with you, even if he's joking with you, there's no room for disrespect. Keep people's dignity intact. And it says a lot about you. I said, people treat you based on their standards. If they think it's appropriate to be disrespectful, they'll be disrespectful. If they think it's appropriate to be uncouth, they're going to be uncouth. I'm not going to stay in an environment where you feel like you can't be respectful to me, right? And it's just how, again, it's this whole idea of what's appropriate. Before we finish off, because we're talking about pressures of men and things like that. So we've talked about, a whole host of dynamics of men. What are some of the pressures in terms of, okay, you got a good guy, you're married, the pressure to be a provider, the pressure to be a father, the pressure to lead. Are men always in their heads? Are they always asking questions? Am I doing all right? Am I doing good enough? How can we support a man
Yes.
in and especially if he's trying, he wants to show up. How can we as women show up better for the good guys? Let's forget the rubbish guys, toxic men. How can we show up for the guy that's trying? He may not be
Mhm.
getting it right all the time. How do you show up for a man like that? You can see he's making effort, he's doing his best. How can you not be ungrateful? And just acknowledge that, man, this guy, he's doing his best, he's trying to make you happy. He wants to make sure that you're happy. And how do you reciprocate? How can we teach women to respond to good men? I think is the question.
Okay, so I think, yeah, I guess we're coming to a close soon. I think the first thing is that women should build themselves into being a very good woman. If you're a very good woman and you're centered by your faith as a Christian, most of these things you'll do naturally. If you come from a two-parent home, you've seen your mum and dad do it. If you don't come from a two-parent home, it doesn't mean that you can't do it, but you need to be able to know that you need to prepare yourself for wifedom before you become a wife. The next thing is to make sure you don't accept a proposal from a man who doesn't show husband
Competence.
characteristics traits. Don't do that. So that's how you can help to start with. If a man is already under pressure when you meet him, leave him alone. It's not for you to design the architecture of his life. Your job
Mm,
is to design, to join whatever purpose he has and support that purpose. Not to join him, then begin to complain that he's not doing enough. If he's not doing enough, leave him alone. You got deceived. Why did you get deceived? Get a coach, get somebody to investigate the man you want to be with. You're with that man now. These are his pressures. Does she still fancy me? Does she respect me? Does she love me? Am I providing enough? Does she enjoy having intimacy with me? Okay. Do I have enough money? Does her family like me? Where will we be in 5 years' time and 10 years' time and 15 years' time? Will she still be with me? Will we be able to send our children to school? Is the health good? Do we have any savings? Do we have any investments? Do we need a bigger car? Do we need to go on holiday? A man that you don't see constantly thinking is an irresponsible man. You
mm,
heard it from me, Esther. So when women say, what are men always thinking about? They're thinking about you, their family, and the future that they have to provide for you. That's what they're thinking about. So stay
mm,
out of his head. He doesn't need your drama on top. He's always deep in his thoughts. That's a responsible man. He's sitting there quietly. I know what's going around in his head. Only God knows what's going on in his head. How much money do we need? Have I got the mortgage covered? The fence needs fixing. The car's broken down again. Jacob has got to go to school. He wants to join karate. I've got to go and see my wife's mother. She's not well. We've got to travel to Ghana to see my uncle. How much money have we got? The house is getting too small. The second baby's on the way. Am I going to get a promotion at work? Those are the things women, men are thinking about. So when you come and be a happy cow, that doesn't help.
mm.
Reassure him, respect him in supplication and submission. A soft word turns away what?
Wrath. Yeah.
That's it. Don't challenge him. Don't stand in his face. He's been challenged by the world already to make something of himself. The world does not reward loser men. The world despises loser men. The world kicks loser men down. When they're down, they kick them again. The world does not like unproductive men. The world does not like men that don't sacrifice. You have to fall into one category. Either you're serving your family and friends, okay, or you're sacrificing in war or medical science, or you're saving people's lives, but you must be offering value to society. And if you're not to be regarded or given any respect. That's how it is. And you're
Mm,
not going to change it. So, in answer to your question, if your man is half decent and you've married him already, support him in every way you can. Don't deny him the bedroom. Don't disrespect him. Make sure you know him. Study your husband. What food does he like? When does he like to be spoken to? Rub his belly, pull his nose, tease him, run his bath. I'm serious. He won't leave. Initiate sex. Don't wait for him to do all the time first. You're telling him you don't fancy him. That's the way we receive it. You don't fancy him. Yeah? Leave him around his children. Don't undermine him in front of his kids. Let him play with his kids. Let him play with his kids. Let him play with them the way he wants to play them. Stop interfering. Stop interfering. Oh, don't hold him like that. Oh, don't tell him that. Oh, don't do this. Stay out of it. It's not your damn business. Let him take his son to football and let him take his girl for a walk or buy her an ice cream. Stop interfering and shoving your face in it all the time. Leave him alone. Let him breathe. Leave him. Let him breathe in his own house.
Stop nagging.
Stop nagging him and stop telling him to put the seat down. Stop telling him to put the damn seat down. Stop it.
Yeah.
Alpha males are different. I'm telling you, Esther, I'm serious. We're built different. You annoy me, I tell you to get out quickly. I'm not going to any counseling. I'm wasting my time. You lost your damn mind telling me what you think. Let me ask you first before you tell me. It's opinionated. No one asked your opinion. Yeah, if you manage, you're that man, he'll be eating out of your palms. All the things you want, you'll get from him if you manage him well. So if your husband is not eating out of your palm, then you've not yet done a good job.
You don't have his yeah button.
That's a new one for me. I learned something today.
Yeah, it's called his yeah button.
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
they're too
so
busy planning and plotting and trying to deceive and manipulate and gain advantage. And after a while, the men find all these things out and they switch off. They just completely switch off. She's not my wife. She's my knife. She's not on my side. She's only thinking about herself. It's all manipulation and lies. They're all the same. Money, 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 money. What have you done for me lately? Let me ask you the same question. A man must do this. A man must shut up telling me what a man must do. Shut up. I've written it in my blueprint, 400 pages. A man can't tell me what to do. Agree with her, then leave. Agree with her. A man can't tell me what you want. I am the table. Tell her to go and sit on her table by herself. Agree with her. I love you, Esther. I do. You know that. Sit on the table by yourself. A man can't tell me what to do. Agree with her. I can't tell you what to do. And then let her go. No correction, no protection. Yes? No submission, no provision.
Don't try and change people. Leave them.
Without you.
That's what they believe. I think I was on a live yesterday with one of my friends, and some of the women were like, I'm too proud. I can't ask guys for money. I'm too proud to let a man help me. It's me. I'm not proud though. I'll collect your money. I'm not proud.
I don't understand them. The very things that men are meant to feel esteem doing, you are rejecting those same very things.
A good man wants to provide, right?
Of course he does. To a good woman. He wants to provide for a good woman. So let him do it. Stay out of his way. Stop getting in the way. Let him do it.
If he asks
let him change the door.
Let him do it. He finds pleasure and joy in doing that. Let him do it.
When he's out there washing your car and cleaning the tires and shining
let
it,
him
leave him alone. Don't say something like, haven't you finished yet? What are you doing? Don't destroy him like that.
Yeah.
You say that he won't wash the car again. And then next time you say, oh, darling, I noticed you washed my car, but you didn't wash mine. Am I your slave? Wash it yourself. And now you know how he's feeling about you now.
Yeah, don't be entitled. Don't do that to him. When he does stuff for you to make you happy, it doesn't mean he's an idiot. He's a fool. He's expressing his love for you. And I've mentioned that to you before, that someone did something so kind to me, that someone I dated, and I thought, wow, what a beautiful expression of love. Like, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to go out of your way to, you know what I mean, really just do something. It was very domestic. And I thought, wow, that was so kind. And I really appreciated it, and I just honored him in that moment. So I just think sometimes we as women also need to do better. And, some women get spot. And I always say to a guy, when a woman's being disrespectful, check her immediately. Because sometimes women get carried away. You have to have that balance of just, even if she's your wife, to say you're pushing it now.
You're pushing it now.
Rein her back in. She's like, oh babe, I'm so sorry. Like, rein her in. Yeah, because people do. They forget who they are.
I've covered that too. I've covered them as a man. I told you, you go out there and the woman is disrespectful or this. I said, don't see her again. I tell men in there, I said, she's out there, she's on her phone. She's looking here, looking there, not giving you her undivided attention. Gentlemen, do not see her again. She doesn't respect you. She's a damaged woman, doesn't know how to behave. And that character will not change. One day she'll
Yeah.
tell, oh, stop your noise, please stop it, stop it. I don't need to keep hearing that from you. That's how she's going to speak to you. That will incense you. When a woman shows you disrespect, believe her and don't see her again.
Mm.
Don't see her again. Leave her alone. Let them stay single. They're big women. They've got their own money, their own car. They're single. Let them stay single.
Mm. Wow.
Anything else, Esther?
Ah, Doc, I just don't know. I just feel like, I think we just try and understand the gender a bit
Mm-hmm.
more. And I'm always going to see everything from God's lens. I'm just going to have always going to have faith and believe that there's nothing that God can't fix. That's just me
Mm-hmm.
holding on to the power of God more than the ability of men. I think what I would say to men is get your spiritual life right. You're not, and I always say to a lot of guys, you weren't designed to do life alone. Some of the pressures that we
Yeah.
carry could be taken off in a place of prayer,
Of course. Yes.
direction, exchange
Indeed.
of mindset. And I think a lot of guys
Indeed.
are have never been taught how to manage the pressures of life. They always feel that
It's
they
true.
have to do with it alone. You don't.
Yeah. And
Get
that's
a
how they feel. They feel that they mustn't be vulnerable to their wife. I told you at the very beginning, they don't
their
trust their
friends.
wives. They're scared.
Yeah.
They're scared that if I tell my wife this, or if I tell my wife that, she might use it against me in the future. And you're dead right. She might use it against you in the future. But if you can't be vulnerable with your wife, then what does that tell you? And
Yeah.
most men feel this way. And so
Wow.
the pressures of men are many. They get pressure, especially black men. Black men hate other black men. Black women hate black men. Brown men and women hate black men. Yellow men and women hate black men. And white men and women hate black men. So black men are at the very bottom, then followed by black women. They're at the very bottom. So we need each other badly. And there are
Mm.
pressures of men. I've told you there's the marital pressure, there's the health pressure, there's the performing in bed pressure, there's the money pressure, there's the leadership pressure, there's the respect pressure, there's the respect from peers pressure.
Men have
It's,
performance and bed pressure.
yes,
Ah, can you imagine you agree? Everything's pressurizing. Oh, God help us, men. I'm understanding that now. I never used to think men pressurize things like this. So I'm shocked. I'm
he
like,
wants
wow,
to know that he can perform in bed. Can I make love? Can I satisfy my wife? Do you not
okay.
understand that? How could you not
I know.
understand that?
Do you know what? I
The
don't
way
think I
you
think
just said
about
that,
it.
Kilo Man Shamwalker, why would you make such a statement?
I'm teasing, Doc. I take it back. In sense of I don't know if women have that pressure is what I mean. That it's a man's thing. I don't know if it's a woman's thing, is what I meant by that. That
He's got one of
it's
these. He's got one of these. This is what he's got.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I don't know. I don't know if
Well, what he
guys
wants is one of these. He wants one of these.
that's what I'm saying, that it's a man's experience of pressure. So I take that back in that sense that wow, that it gets to things like that. That as a woman, you have to understand that everything's pressurizing for him. Everything about right down to his performance, right down to everything. So I'm thinking, wow, like you're educating me that men have every degree of pressure in every way, shape, or form. I'm like, wow. So it's eye-opening. A lot of women don't know this. They don't see it because it's not the same pressure. Excuse
I
me, it's
know.
not the same pressures that we have. So we just see it differently to us. I don't know women who have pressures. I don't know if women have ever spoken about things like that. I think we have body issue pressures. I don't know if he'll find me attractive. I think we have body issue pressures. I think definitely women have body. It's probably in line with that, I'd say. But I don't know if I've heard a woman say she's under pressure about her performance. So it's making me
No,
realize it's a man thing.
men don't say that. So if you look at it, a woman going on about double standards, I'll just say this so you know. A woman just has to be fit, feminine and friendly, have a little bit of money, have a good character, have a good smile, be supportive and respectful, and dwell in her femininity. And she can naturally qualify for virtually any hierarchy of man, as long as she
Mm.
comes from a good home. Fit, feminine, friendly, 24, 25, never been married, no kids, low body count, one or two sexual partners. She can maybe get a millionaire. Yeah, pick up a footballer or celebrity somewhere. Do you think that's the pressure on men?
No.
No, exactly. So that's why half the time as men, we don't speak to women because they just like understanding. They're like children,
And
the
we
things they
don't.
say.
That's the
You
truth,
see?
Doc. And this is why I wanted to talk about this, that there are pressures that men have that we have no clue about. And so we
We
find
don't.
that we shoot ourselves in the foot because we don't understand that actually that's a real pressure for him. We don't have the knowledge that the thing we're joking about, the thing we're teasing him about is actually a
It's
real
something very,
insecurity.
very serious.
Yeah, it's something very serious to him. And I think a lot of women have to be sensitive to the fact that because it's not your reality, it's not your prayer. This is why I try and educate myself as much as possible. I don't want to find myself in a place where I'm constantly disrespecting someone that I care about because I don't understand he's
What
precious.
he does,
He's not
indeed.
communicating them, therefore I don't know. And I'm seemingly being insensitive because I don't realize that this really matters to him. Like this is really important to him. You've educated me a lot, and I think a lot of it has to do. I think when you meet someone, and it's that whole vulnerability, you have to be able to say that, look, these are my triggers. This triggers me. I find behavior like this, words like this. These are things that, and we have to hold space for each other. Okay, and then maybe like, babe, I hear you. It's not just I'm listening. I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I'm a safe space for you. It's about holding space for all his vulnerabilities and pressures and allowing him to overcome them. People overcome their pressures when they realize that actually it's not something that's going to be a factor in a relationship. It's not something
Mhm.
I'm going to stress you on while we're together. So I think it's very important as women, and it's what I wanted us to do, understand the mind of a man when it comes to his fears, when it comes
And
to
the
his
way he thinks.
pressures, and the
But
way he thinks.
women are too selfish. They're too selfish thinking about what they're going to get. So let me look at these things now. I use you as an example because your life. So what pressures would a man have if he wanted to date you? Telling you now, I use it as you. You're Esther. So the first thing as a doc I would look at, I think, how attractive is she? I think she's relatively attractive, light skinned, good bone structure, average height, 5'5" or 6. Are you?
5, 6.5.
All right, without heels on. She's not overweight. She looks good. She speaks well. She's articulate. She's obviously quite a knowledgeable woman. She has her own house and own car. She's written books. She's a podcaster. She's articulate. She's soft, warm, and feminine, and she's got a good sense of humor. Have I misquoted you?
That sounds fair.
That's about fair. So overall, out of a score of 10, what do you think that would come to?
Me, I'm a knockout. I'm a 10 out of 10.
Hmm. Okay, so from a man's, you see why we don't speak to them. From a man's perspective,
From a
um,
man's perspective, yeah.
we put you around what I call somewhere between a 7 going on 8. So a
Eh?
7 on going on,
Me, a
a 7 on,
7 could never be me.
and that's it.
Go on, Doc.
Don't forget all women are 10s. We know. So we know someone called Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. So if Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, is a 10, who else would be a 10?
Me, I'm made in the image
Nobody.
and likeness of God. So I'm a 10. Doc, the
So
thing is, I've got very high self esteem.
let
And
me
not just.
finish.
Go on then.
So you say a 7 or 8. So if you think that there are no 10s because Jesus is 10 and no one is as perfect as him,
Okay.
so the maximum is 9, and someone puts you at a 7 or 8, you see that's my assessment of you, and I know you.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, if there were 100 men in the room and you're a devout Christian, how many of those men do you think would qualify to speak to you out of 100 in a room?
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, take a wild guess.
Maybe 10?
That's right, maybe 10. That's about right. And of those 10, half of them wouldn't be suitable for something. So you're what we call the 5% woman.
Hey, God.
She's very attractive. She's soft and warm. She's got good skin. Okay, average body type. She's not fat, overweight. Has her own house. Has a career. She's an author, a podcaster. She's steeped in faith. All of these are all huge green flags. So now you've got to find a man that can match that. You see how difficult that is.
Hmm.
You see how
That can
difficult that
handle
is now.
that. Yeah.
Yes, so those are, well, handle is not really a word I've used, but yeah, I get you. So those are the pressures the men will feel. So some of them will become what we call rogue alphas. They'll come, they'll just sleep with you and go. They know they can't see it long term, so they'll sweet talk you for a while, get into your knickers, and then run away, if they can do that. Most of them will just not even bother. I don't have my own house. My car isn't all that. I'm struggling at the moment. I don't really like where I am in life. I don't really like myself. So let me
Hmm.
just leave you. That's okay. So now you find the guy, he's 6 foot tall, he's handsome, he's well to do, he's a podcaster, he writes books as well, and he's steeped in faith, and he's attractive to you and vice versa, and he's 55. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. And how many men do you think are like that are available?
Very few and far in between,
There you
probably.
go. That's right. That's right. So remember what I told you, the older you get as a woman, the harder it becomes, and the more insecurities you put on the man, because he's got to meet all these metrics to be
Mm,
qualified, and he still has to find you attractive and vice versa. So he might meet all the metrics and he might say, oh, I don't fancy her. Or you might say, oh, I don't fancy him. And that's
mm,
just one out of the two or three that could be suitable. So those are the pressures that men have when they approach women. Okay, she's very attractive. She's well to get to. She speaks well. She's articulate. Her perfume is nice. Her signature is on point. She's fit, feminine, and she's friendly. And she's got all those other things. These are about 10 different levels of green crab. So I would have to be tall, handsome, articulate, well-spoken, well-educated. Maybe I'm an author, a podcaster. I'm into sports. I've got some level of achievement. I've got a very nice house and I've got a car. So on paper, I'm being real, someone like me should qualify for you on paper. So maybe
mm,
I'm not as spiritual as I could be, but at least I'm a Christian. So you can work on that. He's tall, he's handsome enough, he's taller than you, got his own house, own car, good friends, he's well branded, he's got all those things. So that is how it would be. And how many of me are available? One, two,
yeah,
and
dot.
then, yeah, and then of course you then have to then like each other, don't you? You've got to like each other. So you see how small the market is, which is
Mm.
why the ladies have to get out and do more, and which is what the men will think of when they see you. I think of, okay, I'm giving you a real life example.
No,
Where
yeah,
can she
you're
live?
right.
Yeah, yeah, she can live here with me in this house. Okay, what about our own house? She can rent that out. So that's more money immediately. Let her rent that out. Let's start working towards that mortgage quickly to get that house paid off so we can remortgage it and buy a third property. How does that sound, Esther? Does that
Mm,
sound good? Yes. Immediately you see growth. Immediately you're planning and moving forward. Huh?
yeah.
Let her rent that out. So she could the rent we get from that. So that money that she's using to pay mortgage, let's start investing that money here with me. 5 years' time, you've got another property. 5 years' time, you're about to have your second kid. So you see how everything can go forward very quickly when the
Mm,
two are aligned, very
yeah.
quickly. And they're loving each other and nurturing each other. Loving and nurturing is energy into the relationship. It's a
Mm,
lot of energy. So that's where we are. Now, from the man's perspective, when he knows what kind of man he is, and he knows he's going to have to normally take a woman that is much less than him, he's going to become very strict.
mm,
That's what we weren't before. We weren't very strict before. Now we are. He's going to become very strict. He's going to look at you and think, she's rude, she's disrespectful, she's entitled. I don't like what she just said. The way she spoke to that man is bad. Is that how she's going to speak to me? Let me watch her for a bit more. Ah, she's done it again. Nah, she's not any good. She's always on TikTok begging for coins. I told you about this 12 hours a day. She's not any good. Not any
mm,
good. Huh? I don't see what she's doing. And when the man gets to a certain standard, it gets even worse. So why? Let's assume she's in Nigeria. She thinks she's a big girl because she's got 50 million naira in the bank, 25,000 pounds. Listen, Esther, compared to someone like me, guess what? She's broke.
mm.
She can't ever think that way. She's broke. So let's look at the 50 million naira you've got, 25,000 pounds. How much does the wedding cost? Maybe that? Will it? 15, 20 grand? Yeah, I'm asking. You got to buy the rings. You got to go on honeymoon. Yeah. You got to get the church. You got to get the wedding. You got to get the reception. The people that might play music, the albums, the other bits and pieces. You're looking at 20 to 25 grand, aren't you?
Mm,
Am I wrong? Yeah. So let's say it costs 20 to 25 grand to get married. And we say that she should pay that because I'm going to look after the rest of her. And I've got this house which is worth hundreds of thousands. So after she spent that 25 grand to 50 million, how much money does she have now?
yeah.
She's broke. Yet
Yeah.
in her own mind, she thinks she's a big girl.
Big
Maybe
girl.
she is in Nigeria. Maybe in Nigeria she is.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
in
mean, in
Nigeria,
Nigeria, she's doing
yeah,
well.
yeah, she's doing well because she's saved 50 grand. 50 grand is 25K. That's a car. That will buy a car or two. We get two old cars. Maybe
Mm,
one is 5 years old, the other one is 10 years old. Two with 25 grand will pay for that. She's broke. So when you're dealing with men at my level, this kind of, they're broke and they don't realize that. So when
yeah.
they're running their mouth, the man is just looking at her, saying, what's wrong with this woman? And you say, okay, if you bring 250 million, we can talk about it. That's 125, 130 grand. She says, I don't have 250 million. But then you can't marry here then because we are bringing 4x or 5x of that.
Mm,
And that's what you want. So this is where a lot of women are losing out because they've broken the social contract. Before we didn't look at that. I said it before. Where in the Bible did God say women should bring money? So if you
yeah.
have some money, that helps. But the men are busy wondering, do we have enough money? Do we have enough money? Because it's our responsibility to bring the money. And when they
Mm.
don't have enough money, it creates a lot of insecurities.
Yeah.
It creates a lot of insecurities. That's what it creates. I don't have enough money. Where would they go to school? The car's broken down. She's agitating for a car. I don't have this. I don't have that. These are all the pressures. So this is why I tell men now, don't marry broke women, because you're adding unnecessary pressure to your life. And
Mm.
if she's broke, she's not responsible or stable. So leave her alone. Don't
Mm.
marry broke women. Let her spend more time running to a job, getting money together, rather than abusing and insulting men that are broke shaming men. Let her get
Mm.
some money. And remember, I told you it was about hierarchies. I've told you. When you get right up here, I told you, and I wasn't being funny. In the black community, they'd most probably see me as a 1% guy. So you're talking to a 1% guy, and you don't even have enough intelligence to know that, and that the approach must be different because you simply don't know.
Mm.
She's got 20 million in the bank in Nigeria. She's renting one place. She's got 50 million. And I'm speaking to Yemi, my friend, and he's laughing. And he's laughing, saying she's broke. And we're laughing at her. Before you have money to ask, you have to be coming with 200 million. That's money. And the kind of woman that will have that is going to be about your age or slightly less. And
Yeah.
in most cases, they'll be married already. So that's where my match would be. They've already got to have done a lot. Not that you're coming with nothing or you're paying rent somewhere. For what? You see what I'm saying? Whereas before, we wouldn't have minded. But now we do. Why? Because if you come and you don't want it anymore, you're going to leave and take our house
Yeah,
and take
there's a
our
lot of
kids.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of
So
risk
we're
for
not,
men.
there's,
There's a loss.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of risk. So who'd risk? So these men that are up here, the 5-10% and 5%, you can't access them anymore, which is a
Yeah.
travesty. Because most of those would have made the best husbands because
Yeah.
they've got the most. So they're going
Yeah.
to do the best. They've got our own house, own car, own money, full of high self-esteem, and they're doing well. Those are exactly the kind of men that women want, good women. And most of those men are being pushed out of the market.
Mm.
So that's where we are. Those are the pressures men fear. I know several men that are in their 50s and 60s that would like to get married again tomorrow if they could find a woman they could half trust. Half trust. They're scared.
Wow.
They're scared. We've got many in their 50s and 60s that will make good husbands. And as you say, black don't crack. They don't know my age. They don't
Mm.
know my age.
That's really
They don't
sad.
know,
Heartening to
they
hear
don't know
that.
my position whether I'm married. They don't know.
Mm.
And it's so sad. It is so sad. All these 35-year-old women, 40-year-old women in the UK, they've got a house, they've got a car, they've got maybe a couple of 100 million, they've got 100,000 in equity in their flat. That's a lot to bring to the table. We value that, we respect it. And they think, well, she might have one or two kids and then decide she doesn't like me anymore. She will take my kids and they'll kick me out of my house. No, I can't have that. So let me just be by myself. So now we're all by ourselves now. Or let them go and date at their level. So you get a woman that's 32, she's got 5 grand. You get a man that's 38, he's got 15 grand. Between the two of them, they've got 20 grand and they're broke together. Go to the registry, put a ring on your finger, go to Cornwall or go to Brighton for a weekend. That's your honeymoon. Yes, that's your honeymoon. And start building. Yes, that's your honeymoon. You see, Esther won't accept that. She wants to go to Jamaica first class or business class or go to the Maldives. Exactly.
Not necessarily,
Esther,
Doc.
you would see, woman, I love you, Esther. You know, if I tell you I'm taking you to the Maldives, if I say I'm taking you to the Maldives, Esther, she won't say, "Oh no, I protest." Oh no, Doc, don't waste that 10
That's
grand
not
on that.
Maldives,
What's wrong
though.
with
Who
you?
doesn't go? Who doesn't
What's wrong with you? Can't we just go to Brighton for the weekend? Maldives, no, we can use that to invest somewhere else. No, Esther would say, "Let me pack my bag. I'm packing it now, Doc. What do you need me to pack? Let me pack your own bag too, Doc. I'll pack your bag for you. I don't mind. I will do your own bag as well. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay now. I'll do your bag. Maldives, me. I will send photo on Instagram. They will know me. They will know me. My
God,
man.
give us strength. I swear, it's hilarious.
I tell you.
Yeah, I think the scripture that comes to mind is be anxious for nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, be anxious. Life is full of pressures, life is full of fears, but I always try and say, hold on, let the ice cream van go.
Yeah.
Be anxious for nothing. Don't be afraid. Have faith in God. I think we can overcome anything with faith. I strongly believe that. And no situation is permanent. The person that's up today could be down tomorrow. The
Thank you.
person that's down today could be up
Could be
tomorrow. I
awesome.
think character should supersede. And I think men should lean
Thank
on
you.
their faith a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, then they
Men,
do. That's true.
situations change. Character remains the same. I say to
That's it.
people, when I didn't have money, people didn't know. If I have money, that because I'm consistent
They still won't know.
in
They still
taking
won't know.
care of myself. Yeah, I'm not.
Mhm.
Nothing's ever going to change. I'm not suddenly going to be super rich and start wearing extra jewelry, start carrying extra expensive bags. I could have
No,
done that
no.
before. I have no interest
That's
in
what
it.
I'm saying. That's
My
it.
joy is
And
adding value to people, right? My
wait,
joy is,
wait, here we go again. You're older, you're wiser. I say it
yeah,
100,000
you
times.
do,
You're
you
older, you're
do,
wiser. So
you
that
do.
has a certain appeal to older men. Men of
Mm,
60, 65 will like you. Yes, because you look younger than your age. You've kept your body. You've got that exotic look like you don't even look Nigerian. I've told you a million times. And they're trying to work out where you're
I
from with
hear
your
this.
millionaires gap. Yeah, with your millionaires gap. So you would appeal to men in that age bracket, 55, 60, 65, that are already established because you have a lot to offer. And your wait, listen, you're safe. We spoke about this at the beginning. You're safe. I
Mm,
feel I could be vulnerable with you and you would keep it a secret and I'll be safe with it.
100%, Doc.
You got your own
100%.
house, you got your own car, you got your own money. So you don't need me in that sense. You want to be with me. Yes, you
Mm,
need me because you need a man and I need a woman because I need, but not that you're desperate or you want to be rescued or any other. That's what men are afraid of. When a
mm,
person wants to be desperate, they will do desperate things. They will say desperate things so they can be rescued. Now they're rescued, they're now comfortable. Now their true color comes out. Whereas
mm.
if you meet a woman that's already a builder, you know she's a builder because she's built. We can see it.
And she'll build with you.
Yes, and she'll build. You catch it. There you go. I've told
Yeah.
you this is my greenhouse. This is your
She'll
greenhouse.
continue
When
to
you
build with
match
you.
the two together, before you know, we have three greenhouses. And so
Yeah.
you're thinking. So you get with me, I get with you. We instantly become millionaires. Isn't
Yeah.
that wonderful? So you can see God is so wise. Get with
Yeah.
someone and watch your fortunes explode. If you
Yeah.
get with me, we've got two houses straight away. Rent that house. Inside 5 years, we'll have
What
the
are you
third
asking
house.
me now?
No, I just use it as an example. I
You
use
know,
it
I'm
as an
teasing
example. You know,
you.
I
I'm
use it as an
teasing.
example.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I use
It's
it.
true.
You should teach
Yeah.
yourself, not me. It's yourself you should teach. So then you still you get that, and then it creates safety.
Yeah.
If
And
I'm
then,
down, you support. If you're down, you support. And then you enjoy that. When my husband was down, I supported him. When my
yeah.
wife was down, I supported her. When she had to go to court, I supported her. When he was ill, I supported them. So when you're on the beach in Jamaica and he's slapping your bum and you're walking on the beach, you'll say, oh, Doc, stop it now. And then we're laughing at each other. And you're thinking, thank you, God, thank you, God. You get in the morning, you're praying on
Yeah.
your knees on your bed for 1 hour, and you're thinking, yes, you're blessed. Next
To
thing your belly's
me,
fat and swollen, and
friendship.
twins pop out. Twins pop out with two chubby cheeks like this, and I'm saying, you look like your mom. Because now, you look like me. Yes, yes, okay, well, that's good. You look
Yeah.
like your mom. Yes, 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 okay. You look like your mom. Okay, that's good too. And you're thinking, what a wonderful thing. Imagine having 100 million relationships like that. Wouldn't this
Yeah.
world be a better place? Instead of everyone trying to scam everyone, trying to use everyone, trying to lie and cheat and do all these things. So my view has been my view, and I've said before, 80% of people are not ready for marriage. People
Mm,
should marry on their own level. They should marry on their own level. Stop trying to get a man that's way too big. You won't know what to do with him. Leave women that are aware of your league, leave them alone. And try to understand the pressures of men and support them. When you support the men, then those pressures become less. Then he
yeah.
can pour more into you. How many times have I heard Nigerian women say, it's not my job to bring money. I'm not helping with the school fees. I'm not helping with the bills, and I'm not helping with anything. And the man stays in that marriage. That man is a fool. You
Mm,
are a debt slave. You're a debt slave. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't like you. She doesn't respect you. And she does not understand the fundamentals of marriage. I'm not bringing any money.
mm,
Let him go and find out how he's going to pay the school. I know men like this. Let him pay the bills. Let him pay the mortgage. Let him pay everything. And then you're
yeah.
asking what are the fears and pressures of men when you are the one putting him under that pressure. Before he took you on
Yeah.
and the kids, he was doing just fine. So now what you just
Yeah.
are is a liability and a burden. He was doing fine before he took you on. You've not helped in any way. You've not brought any money, which is why I'm saying again passionately, leave broke women alone. Don't take them. They won't appreciate anything because they never
Mm.
achieved anything.
Well, Ekbala. Sorry, Doc. No,
Yes,
you're
thank you.
right. You know, in
Leave
that
them alone. Let them
scenario,
stay in their lane. Let them get with a man that's broke like them. She's got 5,000. He's got 10,000. Good. Together you got 15,000. Start from there.
mm,
Both of you work overtime. In a year, you'll have 50 grand. Now you can buy a flat. I'm serious. If you've got 15 grand together and both of you get together, he earns 40 grand, you earn 30 grand, that's 70 grand, that's 4 grand coming in. So if you keep 2 grand of that aside, that's 24 grand plus the 15 grand you've got. Isn't that 40 grand? Isn't that
mm.
enough for a deposit for a place? Yes. So in a year and a half, you'll have your own property. Just 18 months from both of you renting one room in each. You come together in
Mm,
18 months, you own your own property. You see the power of collective effort now. So if you can
yeah,
do that
do
in
things
18 months,
together.
what do you think you would do in 20 years? You'll have several properties, won't you? But here we are struggling. Oh, I won't get married because she will hurt me. Oh, I don't want any man to take advantage of me. Okay, let's all say to single and grow old alone. How sad.
That's what's happening. Everyone's afraid. No one trusts each other. No one's willing to build together. And the scenario you described earlier, friendship in marriage is fundamental. When you marry your friend,
Paramount.
yeah, your
Paramount.
best friend, you can laugh through things. Marriage should be fun, right? No one needs to be perfect, but you're on the same team. You're enjoying
Wavelength.
the person's
Yes.
company. You laugh together, you love
Yes.
together, you hold each other accountable, you have each other's backs, you're working as a unity and as a team, and you appreciate your differences and your similarities. And I always say there has to be a purpose and a goal bigger than the two of you in the marriage. I find that couples who are just obsessed with being husband and wife and don't have something they're working towards have the worst kind of marriages, because now it's about, you're not fulfilling my needs, you're not meeting my needs, you're not making me happy. But when there's something bigger, you're both working towards something. Say, yeah, the family has a big business, or there's something that you're protecting, you're feeding into. So you have to have dreams and goals and purposes. Like, what does our
Exactly. The
relationship do? What
align.
is what is the output
Yes.
of that relation? Yeah.
You
The
see.
reason Posh and
And that
Becks
is
are Posh
called
and
the
Becks, they
master
have
plan.
something to protect.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why
They have a
that's because
brand
they've
to
got an investment.
protect.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They've got invested. No, before anyone walks away, they're thinking twice. Before anyone messes
That's it.
about, they're
That's what
thinking
I'm telling
twice.
you.
I've invested too much
Too
into this
much.
person. My
Indeed.
wife has
That's
built
right.
this. My husband has done this. We've built a
That's
life
right.
together. We've built a
That's
business
right.
together. We've
That's
built
right.
something that we
That's
both
right.
have
That's
to
worth. Yes.
protect.
We've got
Yeah.
to
And
protect it
that keeps your behavior more than,
and
oh, I
share.
just have a wife. Yeah, more than, oh,
Mm,
what are we eating today? What, you're
mm,
working towards something
right.
bigger than the both of you. And so it gives the relationship meaning. Life, I always say life has to have meaning. If your marriage is just about, I want someone to make me happy, my dear, you'll be miserable, because no one's
Miserable
going to
for the
make you
rest of
happy.
you.
Yeah.
No, it's not his job
It's not his job, it's not her job. And I hear about women leaving relationships because they're just
because they're
not happy.
not
Find
happy.
your happiness, create your happiness, have
They're damaged
purpose.
people. They're damaged. If you need someone to make you happy, then you need someone that can make you happy, yeah, but not happy. And
Yeah,
and,
someone
and
that can
everything
add
you just
to
said
your
there,
joy. Yeah.
Joyce, what you said there is poignant.
Mm,
So many men, myself included, married women that didn't have anything, hoping that they would get equity after the fact. No, I'm against it completely. Don't
mm,
take on the woman that has not shown up. She's not got anything. Don't take on the man that's finding his way. He doesn't know what he's doing. Leave them alone. They won't listen. Leave them alone. She's got in now. She doesn't like you. She wants to leave. She can take a huge bag of money, even though she never brought any money. She won't care. She's only going to look out for herself because that's their selfish nature. The man won't care. He's got what he wants to get from you. He will leave you. He won't care. So I don't advocate for it. Never. She's got no money. She comes from a broken home. Doesn't know her dad. Don't like her friends. She's always changing job. She's a walking nightmare. And yet you're
mm,
thinking about marrying her. That just shows the lack of understanding you have. Or the man never turns up on time. He's rude. He's disrespectful. He's always changing job and always changing his number. And you see that man as worthy of marrying. And then you're asking for the trouble. You're going to get the harvest you're going to get. And you will
mm,
get it. People
mm,
that should not even be a factor you're considering for marriage. Make that make sense. They should
mm,
not be a factor in your life. You're considering them for marriage. How far removed from where you should be are you?
mm.
So that's why we're here. And it's a
Yes,
slow
Doc.
burn. It's a slow burn, but thank you very much. It's a slow
Doc, I
burn, but those are
appreciate
some of
it.
the
Let's
people.
round this up and we'll continue on the TikTok live. I think this conversation needs to be had live and people need to hear these. And I think it's a reality. And you've educated me so much, because I think as a woman, we are not taught. No one sat me down. My dad never sat me down and said, men have a lot of pressures. A man's going to be thinking about this. People don't have these conversations. I've never heard a man, and I think this whole idea that you should just know. I don't know if men say this to other men. I don't know if men have these conversations with each other. That, you're going to be responsible for this, this, this. These are the pressures of, excuse me, being a man. You're going to have to learn how to handle this, right? And we're living in a generation where it's very difficult. Even within the church, it's still very difficult to find someone
Yes,
that you can trust, who has high moral ground and high character.
well, yes,
So I think,
indeed.
we got to be really careful. We've got to be really careful in protecting ourselves. And I pray that, This time next year,
Uh,
Doc, we'll be having different conversations, God
yeah,
willing.
and it makes me feel so good. Only having been on the platform for 2 years, the amount of men that have confided in me, know they can trust me. They see me as an elder, an uncle, a daddy, or whatever they see me
You
as.
are,
And
you are,
women too. And women too. They just feel it's safe.
you
And
are
that's how
safe.
you should be. You're safe. I can tell him this. He's not going to talk about it with anyone. He'll give me the truth. I might not like the truth, but I'll get it. I'm just so sad. I see too many fine women single. Why are you single? Oh, there are no good men. And what effort have you put into finding a good man? Did they go quiet? What effort have you put in? What dates do you go on? What events do you attend? And how have you put yourself where the good men are that they can see you to know that you're actually single? No,
Mm,
they're busy chasing mortgage, busy chasing second property. I know a lady recently. I won't mention her by name. Exotic looking, sort of South African type, slightly taller than you, about your height. Yeah, 34 years old. Just sent me a message that she just completed on her second property. And then she was telling me that, oh, that I've been out with men around my age and they're very mature. They don't compliment me on my dress. They didn't pull out the chair. They don't ask me about me. They just talk superficial stuff and etc. And then I said, doesn't that tell you something about yourself? She said,
mm,
what do you mean? If you're 34 and you're finding men of 34 are not around you, I said, start looking for a man that's about 50 or 55. She
mm.
said, that's too old. And I said, too old for what? We've covered
Oh,
this earlier.
wow. Yeah,
What is it told for? I said, you need a man that can marry you, yes, that
that's
will give you
mature.
children, yes. Yeah, that's mature, that will stay for you, that you can have a conversation with, that will appreciate your femininity and your womanhood. Yes, you should have a certain position in society, certain status and character, yes. I said, how many 34-year-olds men do you know have all these things that you have now just acknowledged that you need? So
Mm,
what you're doing, speaking to those 34-year-olds, what you're doing, my dear, is you're wasting your time. That's what you're doing. You're
mm.
wasting your time. You're getting to that pivotal age of 35 now where men begin to see you differently. He said, how can I get with someone of 50? That's too old. I said, too old for what? And then I mentioned all those things. And I said, do you think more men of 50 are going to have those things or less men of 50? She said, more men of 50. Then I guess you've answered your own question then, haven't you?
Yeah, broaden your
Out looking for
horizon.
a seasoned statement. I said, you're 35, so you'll be young to them. You've got assets, so that shows you're responsible and stable. You've got education, you work for a good company, and you've got profile, you've got character, you've got pedigree. That's what men want. And you've not been married and you don't have any kids. You should be marrying a banker or a lawyer that's doing this almost approaching millionaire status. That's who your
Mm,
husband should be, living in Fulham. Instead of speaking to some 34-year-old that works for KPMG that's on 50 grand a year or 60 grand a year, and he thinks he's all that.
mm.
He's a small boy compared to you. You're vastly more mature than the men you're dating. And the
Yeah,
fact that you don't even know that in itself, that is even surprising. You see what I
yeah,
mean about women? You don't understand that. If you're not getting what you're getting from the men around you, should that not tell you that you're fishing in the wrong pond? You need older,
yeah.
more mature men so you can be fulfilled. What they're just
Mm,
seeing is the same old chicken. He's old, he's too old for what? And that's
mm,
how they lose their husband. Oh, God send me a man, God send me a man. And then Dr. London turns up in your face and you're talking rubbish to him. He sent you the man, he's right there, that's him. Or Dr.
mm-hmm.
London's friend or someone else. I use it as an example, of course.
Of
He's
course,
right
yeah.
there sitting next to you saying, so tell me about yourself, and you're talking rubbish. So now you see you're not ready. And then when
Mm,
the man comes, he doesn't have any money. Oh, I don't like a broke man, but you are broke in terms of character. And you're also broke in terms of money. And yet
mm,
you think you're a baddie, you think you're a babe. No, you're not. You're a nuisance and you're a liability. And you've only dealt with low quality women. That's why only low quality men deal with you. And that's why you can only resonate with low quality men. They've given you a much higher quality man now, and you don't know how
yeah.
to handle it. And it's the same on the women's side. He's used to speaking to women anyhow. He's rude and disrespectful, making cheeky, slight comments, which are highly disrespectful. Can you
Mm,
imagine?
wow.
So yeah, so it's a lot. So that's it. I've said it. I'm saying it to ladies. They will hear this. They will hear it. When you're 34, mid-30s, start looking for a man that's 45 or 50, that's tall, handsome, with pedigree and character, that can be your husband and do the things you need him to do, so
Mm,
you can be the wife you want to be. And stop looking for men around your age and complain that they're not mature, they don't turn up, they don't have money, they don't know how to treat a lady. So you can see all of that. Why are you still dating them? Why? Doesn't
it's
that
true.
tell you something about your thinking?
It's true.
Thank
Ah,
you.
God help us, Doc. On that note, I think we need to call it a
Well,
day.
yes, yes, we can call it a
Let
day.
me close out the show real quick. Wow, guys, that was a lot. That was a lot. Thank you for joining me for today's Wise Women podcast. I really appreciate it. I hope you really got a lot out of that. I think that for me as a woman, I always want to understand men. I want to understand the way they think. I want to understand what's important to them. And I'm open to being educated and re-educated. It's very, very important. And I think men need to do the same. Men should see what's important to women, where do their insecurities come from? And there are cultural factors, there are background factors that affect the way we all view and treat each other. And I think it's everyone should take responsibility for their growth. I've always said that. Take responsibility for wanting to make a difference and not just showing up in someone's life and not being ready. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for the Wise Women podcast. I will see you again next time, and stay safe and stay wise. God bless you.